Hey, good morning, guys. Okay, so oil is actually jumping up right now. I can't really figure out why it's happening. It just jumped up to $85 a barrel. So oil is actually going up right now. Again, I'm not really sure what's going on with oil. Let me look at the NASDAQ to see if the NASDAQ is trending the other way. But good morning, guys. It is Friday. Happy Friday to everybody here. But look at oil right now. Oil is moving a little bit just now. I'm not sure why. Here's oil. Oil just jumped over the last 3 minutes with a volume spike. I see the CPC said to have discussed an indefinite halt of oil and tanker operations. That might be what's going on. And so again, the CPC said to have discussed indefinite halt of oil and tanker operations. Oil is jumping up now to 84.70s right now. Over the last 4 minutes, we've got a volume spike in oil and a jump. Let's see if it's going to continue higher here. I don't really see any other news. It's got to be the news I just posted here. But again, the CPC may halt oil ops until safety guarantees from other states. The halt discussed is indefinite regarding oil. I think that's probably what this is. It could be. I see some Saudi attack on Iraq, not directly against its people. China approves 4 nuclear power projects. Saudi is committed to relationship with Iraq. But oil jumped up a little bit. You can see that here. Yeah, I am in a different room. Hey, what's up, Dragos, Todd, 1-1, Max, Steve, Auntie, Trebek, Zeke, Farmer, Sabars, Ruben, Christian, Slumdog, Robert, North Star, Maids, Rooftop, Darkage, Ace, Smith, Slumdog, UE, Marin, DJ, Dave, AJ, GJ, Palantiers, Lucas, Alexis, Brian, Nicholas, Edson, VV, Pelican, Womble, Steve, what's up, dude? Crazy Trade, VA, Dave, Jonathan, Ava, Old Hack. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Scrubs, Exotic, No Problemzo, Leah, Killing Frenzy, Sutter, Plasma, Z, Rick. Good morning, guys. Hey, oil just jumped. I don't know why. I guess it's the CPC may halt oil. CPC has discussed an indefinite halt of oil and tanker operations. The CPC terminal is vital for Kazakhstan's oil exports. CPC may halt oil operations until safety guarantees from other states, I believe is what's going on. So oil did drop a lot yesterday. It's back up some now, though. And so maybe we'll have to change the title of the stream because oil just jumped up a little bit here. Overall, most markets are still digesting Amazon earnings yesterday. And, you know, we got into the stream about this yesterday. Amazon did raise CapEx. And so just to put this in perspective, they raised CapEx to $220 billion, but they did not get the Google treatment. They did not get the Meta treatment in regards to CapEx going up. We're at 262s right now for Amazon. So Amazon, they did really good for their earnings yesterday. If you read the earnings report, you know that they had a really good EPS. I think it was like 575 EPS. They expected 1 something, but there's an asterisk next to it because most of those good margins are due to them holding Anthropic, which during the quarter period had a pretty big rise. And so they ended up making a lot of money from their Anthropic investment, but it wasn't operational profits showing that 575 EPS for Amazon. It's at 261 right now, but again, it is up big. It did not get the Google treatment. It did not get the Meta treatment. So that's probably the big story of the day right now. But yeah, you can see Amazon is up there. Let me know, is the volume good today, guys? Let me know.
Also, good morning, everybody.
Yeah, Britt is here. Let me know if Britt's much louder than I am, but we're here.
And yeah, the NASDAQ's down. Same time oil is up.
Right. It's got to be that CPC news.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's got to be that. I'm assuming that's what it is. Yeah.
Apparently, I'm too loud.
Yeah. The Caspian pipeline halting operations, I think, is the news regarding oil that made oil jump up like that. You can see the NASDAQ simultaneously headed down, but the NASDAQ, man, it is up. You know, the NASDAQ is up. Amazon earnings still helping the NASDAQ. A lot of this is due to chips, man. Chips and rotation are still happening. MU back over 900. SanDisk is at 1300s right now. SK Hynix is at 159s. The S&P 500 is sitting right at 7500. This might be a buy level here, though, for the S&P. I might consider buying the S&P right here. It's right at the volume weighted average price, right at a big whole dollar number here. So let me maybe trade that. I would love if this mic went right here. How's the volume when I speak right now, guys? Is the volume good here, or should I move the mic a little bit closer? Let me know. Let me know. I could probably turn this a little bit here. There we go.
So I'm sure it'll be different for them than it is for me. But to me, when you did that, whatever you did made you sound a little more muffled, but then you cleared up. So I don't know.
It's good. Okay, so most of the chat says it's good right here. If it's good right here, bro, we can run the stream like this. I think that works great. It's a very brisk sound. Volume good. Thumbs up. Good, good, good. There's the lurkers. Hello, guys. Thank you for participating here, I guess. But yeah, we got news a second ago that the CPC, the Caspian pipeline, may halt operations until safety guarantees for other states. They discussed an indefinite halt of oil and tanker operations for the CPC, the Caspian pipeline, major pipeline. So that probably is what's freaking people out regarding oil. But I still might buy this dip here. Is this a buy the dip scenario, guys? Let me know.
Now some people are saying I'm quiet. I don't know. Whatever.
You're pretty loud on my end, bro. I gotta give it to you. You're pretty loud on my end, but you'll be all right.
I am, and I'm talking actually lower than normal on purpose.
Yeah. Look, I'm gonna buy the S&P right here. All right, so we just bought the S&P. We might add a little bit more. Oh wait, this is the regular mini S&P. Oh well, we'll stick with the trade. The music is too loud, is it? I can turn the music down. Is the music too loud? Yeah, I turned it down just a tad bit. All right, so we got one full mini contract right here. This would be 10 micros. It's on the S&P though, so it's a little bit. Yeah, I just turned it down a little bit. Stock market is trying to recover from these last few weeks of red. Yeah. Music is fine. No, it's good. The nature of YouTube, bro. The nature of YouTube. Not sure what others are hearing, but he's way louder than me.
Yeah, I've got some people saying I'm fine, some people saying I'm loud, some people saying I'm quiet.
I think you're louder than me.
I would humbly suggest that some of you might need to adjust your own volume. if I'm getting that many mixed reviews, you know.
Yeah. What about now? I mean, I turned my volume up a decent amount so you can hear me. That should be a little bit better.
I don't know.
Britt is louder. Yeah. It should be pretty good right now. Britt louder for sure. Okay.
Well, apologies. I am talking, like I said, again, very quietly.
Yeah, I changed it up to where my volume is a little bit higher. I'm gonna, Britt, you got to do what you got to do, bro. I got to turn you down a little bit, bro. Turn down for what? Because you're louder than me, you know?
I say turn me up and turn me loose, but whatever.
Britt sounds like a professional YouTuber. All right, yeah, we're good now. All right, I'm in the S&P 500 here, a full mini contract right now. Where's gold at today? All right, is that better? We should be better now. I mean, I'm farther away from the mic, and I'm not going to bend over here.
I mean, in the advertisement, the mic did say, "Are you tired of being quieter than the other person on your YouTube stream? Buy this mic."
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it sounds like it, dude. It sounds like it. All right, so let's see what oil does here. S&P's sitting quiet, but I'm in one full mini contract of the S&P right now. Oil is starting to pull back from that run-up it made from the Caspian pipeline operations. Tanker and oil operations potentially getting indefinitely halted. That news just dropped. And,
gold rejected.
What's that?
Someone said gold rejected.
Yeah.
Just that back down to 49.
Yeah. Yeah, gold did fall down this morning. It's like I'm in the hallway. Dang it, man. Hey, what's up, G-Man?
It's clearly not a hallway behind you, John.
It's a kitchen, bro.
Yeah.
Do I sound like an echo? Oh, bro. All right.
Yeah, I'm here, farmer. I don't know why you can't hear me.
Let's fix this right now. Yeah, Apple is down a pretty significant amount here. Here's Apple. Apple's at 307s. Still shorting this fake market. Darkage, are you still short, bro? I know you were really short in markets, dude. I know. Apple, again, down. Bad guidance is why Apple is dropping. Amazon did raise CapEx. The interesting thing right now, though, is that, you got to dig a little bit deeper to figure out why, other companies posted higher CapEx and failed to bounce and ended up dropping like Google and Meta. But Amazon, which posted 220 billion CapEx versus 200 billion yesterday, why they are specifically up a huge amount, right? And it all has to do with performance. I can hear an echo when you're in, Britt, or like it might.
You won't hear it again.
Okay, but the reason for this is because Amazon did raise their CapEx 20 billion to 220 billion. They announced it during the call, during the earnings stream yesterday. We had a couple people saying it was 200 billion. Amazon actually raised it to 220 billion, believe it or not, right? But they had the cloud growth to justify the higher CapEx, which is the big story of markets right now, is fears of high CapEx and whether it's justified. But the cloud growth, the AWS growth in Amazon, did help save it from like a big CapEx fear drop like we got in Google and Meta earlier in this week. So, yeah. Higher CapEx. I don't know if they had positive free cash flow, but their AWS grew 37%, much bigger than expected. That helped, that helped market some here. All right, so I am in the S&P. It looks like I'm down on this trade right now. I think I'm gonna have to cut it. Yeah, we're out. We're still up, $4,000 in this account in the last week or two. But what's up, Sam? How you doing, brother? What's up, Carlo? Yeah, the Kospi bounced back heavily last night. And again, it kind of needed this right now. I thought one of the most interesting stories was the Ken Griffin story. Did you guys hear about the Ken Griffin story yesterday? Let's dig into it. But Ken Griffin pulled a shark move yesterday. A shark move. So everybody remembers the Fed meeting with the big rally. Or everybody remembers the Fed meeting in regards to the rate hike fears. Like going into one of the trades that I got into, which is honestly one of my favorite trades I've gotten into in a while, was buying gold ahead of the Fed meeting. Why did I buy gold ahead of the Fed meeting? Is because I thought they overpriced in rate hikes. I thought they just bet a little bit too high on rate hikes. And so what I did was I bought gold, assuming that when they pause, which I thought was going to happen, markets in gold specifically, which is really yield and rate sensitive, would run a little bit when they announced the pause versus the hike odds that were priced in. And that's exactly what happened. Markets overpriced in hike odds. But this goes back to a story that's been floating around the markets the last day or two, right? And this has to do with a hedge fund, which is AI focused, called Situational Awareness LP. It was founded by a 25-year-old kid named Leopold. He was a previous OpenAI researcher. That hedge fund was forced to sell its entire public equity books, its entire positions, in a single stock block trade before the open yesterday. Now, you might ask why this happened. This happened because they got margin calls from Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Bank of America, and more. That hedge fund originally rose from 225 million in value to 45 billion at its peak in early July. But it was running 4x leverage, long AI infrastructure, short software. It essentially bet that AI is going to kill software. But one of the big stories is that we had some doom and gloom from this. We had some doom and gloom from earnings, from the Fed decision. And what happened, this is the story that's floating around, is that Ken Griffin, you might remember him from the GameStop debacle, put out a bunch of news, allegedly, that we would raise rates on Wednesday. Okay, obviously we did not raise rates, but this helped stop that 25-year-old kid's hedge fund out, basically. And again, it's partially from the rate hike fears, and then Ken Griffin at the Citadel swoops in and buys him up for 50 cents on the dollar, right? So essentially he put out negative, I'm not going to call it propaganda, but he put out negative, negative sentiment regarding rate hikes, tanked this dude's positions, and then swooped in and bought it for 50 cents on the dollar. A freaking shark move, if I've ever seen one in Wall Street. And that's the big story. Again, single block sale to Citadel before Thursday's open yesterday. Longs and shorts were both covered. Assets went from $45 billion worth to $10 billion. It was an over 75% wipeout, one of the single largest day fund unwinds in history. And the positions that got him crushed, he was long in SK Hynix, long in Micron, long in Nebius. Basically, this dude took the counter Burry trade in his hedge fund, got wiped out. Ken Griffin at the Citadel, which is partially to blame for some of this movement. I thought rate hike, the bets on rate hikes were over, I thought they were reaching a little bit.
Estimated.
Yeah, they overestimated rate hike odds. Anybody that understood markets knew we weren't going to raise rates yesterday, but it doesn't matter. Market moves on rumors, psychology, and more. And when all of that fear came out, yeah. Freaking shark.
Yeah. There's some pretty strong language. I get that it was business, but yeah.
This is business, dirty. Bro. Yeah, it's business. Business is dirty, dude. Especially Wall Street business. It's super dirty. I
know. It's just, I don't know. Whatever.
So situational weight. Yeah, it's what I try to talk after. But Plasma says, so situational awareness is only up from 225 million to 10 billion. Yeah, only is the key word, but that still wiped out 75% of my guy's portfolio. Not my guy. I mean, look, I feel for him. I'm sure he's not happy right now. He's probably not poor, but he's not happy right now. Business as usual. Yes, sir. Yeah, I've got the black lung pop. I don't know how people like that can live with themselves. I don't know. It's big money eating big money, though. I
know, but and again, I get it. It's business. Honestly, in that position, I probably would have done the same thing. But to swoop, to devalue and swoop in, and basically, I'm not gonna use the word steal because he did buy it, but to do that and then take something that somebody has built like that, it rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah, and just to put the needle in a little bit more, he was supposed to get married. So he was supposed to get married tomorrow. So the 25-year-old kid was. And so that's gonna be a sucky wedding, bro. He's gonna be. I mean, look, he's still obviously he's not hurting that bad. I mean, he's still probably rich, but yeah. But it's one of the stories floating around markets right now. Sharks move, man, and I can't even look. I'm on the side. The chat might turn on me for this. I see a little bit wrong with it, but this is the game that Leopold got into. This is the game here, man. That's
what I was trying to get at. Honestly, just morally, I object to it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But this is the game, man. If you can move things, you will. It's one of the benefits of having big money. Is because and having big reach and having power in these markets is that if you can move things, you will. If you can move them for your benefit, if people can move things for their benefit, they will. And
I know, like I said, despite the fact that I object to it, I'm sure in the same situation, given the opportunity, I would probably do the same thing. That's the bad thing. You kind of have to question yourself in situations like these too,
No, for sure. And it wasn't just the rate hike odds that made all these memory plays go down, right? There's a lot of stuff. So again, somebody's asking me to repeat the story. I will very quickly. Leopold founded this hedge fund, situational awareness, where it's up huge amounts. It was up to 45 billion from much smaller amounts. Ken Griffin at the Citadel, which allegedly, and again, these are just rumors, but he put out a bunch of negative sentiment regarding rate hikes, that we were going to raise rates on Wednesday, which we didn't, obviously. That helped push markets down in fear ahead of that. And so Leopold had to unload, 75% of his positions, or I think he had to unload all of his positions. He's down 75%, and during that time, Ken Griffin, which again is the rumors is that he put out the news, the sentiment regarding rate hikes, which helped dump the markets on Wednesday. So he, allegedly in rumor, is partly to blame for some of these big unloading positions here from Leopold and situational awareness, and then swooped in and bought situational awareness, or bought the assets, for 50 cents on the dollar, basically. So got a 50% discount. And then to make it even worse, the very next day, yesterday and today, chips are back. Chips have rebounded. MU's back over 900. SK Hynix is back. Like, microchips and AI, which is what he was shorting, are back today, right? So he basically lost all that just to have everything he sold rebound back up. And again, he basically took the counter Burry trade. He took the opposite Burry trade, the opposite trade of Burry.
He was long in him, right?
Yeah, he was long in AI center names. Like,
I was just making sure, because I think you misspoke a second ago. I think you might have said he shorted it.
No, I think he was long and short in different things, but he was short in software, long in AI center names, which is kind of the rotation in markets right now. Like, if you watch the markets, what's moving the markets is rotation in and out of software, in and out of AI, right? So like, a good example of this is like microchips and memory plays will go up. Meanwhile, simultaneously, software names like ServiceNow and more will drop, right? So there's been rotation in and out of software versus AI. Software versus AI is the story over the last month here. There's a lot of stories, right? But software versus AI is the story in markets right now. So like an example of this is like right now, chips are up, MU was up, SanDisk is up, memory names are up, HBM production names are up, but ServiceNow, a big software company, is down. IBM is down on the day and dropped yesterday. So it's rotation into software, out of AI, into AI, out of software, and that's been going back and forth, honestly. And the whole thesis of this, again, guys, if you've been watching the stream, the whole thesis is really that AI is going to replace software as a service, software, and to a certain extent, right? And so as AI gets better and better, you have less of a need to use some of these software as a service companies. Why? Because AI can produce the same similar things much faster, much cheaper. Generally, there's outliers, but generally AI is going to eat software to a certain extent, because instead of having to pay for all these different SaaS services, software as a service companies, you can use Claude now, and Claude will build whatever you want without necessarily needing to pay for it like that. And so that is the story in markets right now for sure. The other story is that China is obviously getting into the lithography and chip production. And so that's been scaring chips as well. So, yeah.
What's up, Sorrel? Sorrel says 25 and kid don't belong in the same sentence. I would normally agree, but I kind of feel like in this scenario, it's a pretty apt descriptor, just because he's kind of in the same waters as people who've been doing it for 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
And are basically at the top of their fields or their markets or whatever. And I just think he didn't know what he was getting into, maybe. So I think it's pretty apt in this situation, if nothing else.
Yeah, look, if you're a 25-year-old hedge fund owner, you're a freaking kid, bro. Compared to these other sharks out there, you're a freaking kid, dude. And again, as somebody that's in my 30s, he's a kid. That's a kid, bro. When I was 25, I was definitely a freaking kid, bro. My personality was different. I was more naive to what's going on in finance in the world. It depends on how old you are. Of course, if you're 27, you're not going to look at him as a kid. But if you're 30-something, 40-something, like all these other big hedge funds, 50-something, 60-something, you're going to look at that dude like a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Reasonably so.
Well, especially because, you got to think about the times. Like, 100 years ago, 150 years ago, a 25-year-old was definitely not a kid. Life expectancy was much lower and life was much harder. And so, like, to call a 25-year-old a kid then would have been, a misnomer. But, like, societal standards have changed at this point,
For sure. Yeah, it's, that's how it goes. I see somebody say the kid was a baller. Yeah, he was a shot caller, 20-inch blades on his Impaler. I was actually listening to that song this morning before I started the stream. Yeah, but in my opinion, he's a kid. But I'm in my 30s, so, that's how it goes. But yeah, Citigroup upgraded BAX price upgraded to neutral. I'm looking at other upgrades. Roblox was downgraded here. Roblox did post earnings yesterday. Dude, my son had one of the best shorts in history right now. You know, my son had one of the best shorts in history. I asked my son years ago where Roblox would be in a few years, and it was at 80 when he said it. Roblox is now at 38. He said, and my son specifically said he thought Roblox would be about half the price in a few years. And my son plays Roblox, by the way. And so Jack nailed that, man. He got it. He got that right. 50% down. I'll be giving.
I can't wait to see him, you know, on Wall Street in a suit at like 14.
Yeah, well, he's much more curious about trading in markets than my daughter is, and so I'll maybe have him on stream one day.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, Bloom Energy flew up yesterday. That was one of the big stories. You can see Bloom Energy, man. Big rise up to 220s. I mean, it's dropped a lot, though, over the last few weeks, so it's really just back up to where it was on the 21st, like 10 days ago. But still, what was his reasoning? His reasoning was that essentially growth slowed, that they've done a lot of expansion and stuff over the last 5 years, but the last few, he thought they'd maybe hit a top, I guess. He just kind of gave me his pick. I don't know why he said that, but that's what he said. Yeah, Bloom Energy earnings killed it. They're up huge. What's the market doing now? Yeah, it looks like I got out of that S&P long at the right time because it has continued falling here. Here's the NQ. Markets are starting to reverse back down, but it's an interesting Friday. We do have Michigan consumer sentiment today. So we do have University of Michigan consumer sentiment. And I don't know how much this is going to necessarily affect things. But long or short today. And I think it's probably time for a poll right now. That bloke was from FTX. You would think they would learn about leverage. Yeah, I mean, FTX. Do you think it's just a bounce in the memory trader? Were you going back to all-time highs? Old-time highs, Seth. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. At this point in time, it's earnings were okay for Amazon, bad for Google, bad for Meta. You know, there's some other stories here around the earnings that are kind of scaring markets. But I don't know. I think long-term we're fine, but maybe there could be some fears short-term. It depends on what happens with oil and everything else. But again, Google raised from 190 to 205 billion. The reason was acceleration in the delivery of capacity to meet growing demand. But Amazon raised capex to 220 billion, a 20 billion increase from 200 to 220, but they still did pretty well in markets here. So capex is kind of, you know, the big story of the earnings season, and maybe we'll see that moving forward. The big one obviously is going to be like Nvidia earnings. I think mid to the end of this month could be some of the stories that, you know, markets are going to pivot to after, you know, next week's non-farm payroll data. But again, the Kospi index, which is South Korea's index that has SK Hynix and Samsung and more, super chip heavy. It did rebound yesterday as well regarding chips. It went up 18%. Record comeback from this week's big crash in chips. Bank of Japan did hold rates. So yen fell on no rate hike. And yeah, PCE came out a little bit cooler yesterday. And so GDP was weak though. And so next week, the big story is jobs. We're going to be heading into a big jobs week next week where jobs is going to be key for everything. We've got non-farm payrolls, we got the ADP jobs report, and more next week. So if we take a look at next week's calendar here, next week's a big story here. We got ADP, we got services data going live. So here is the calendar. We got JOLTS coming in Tuesday next week. We've got, so next week's full of job reports, guys. We got Michigan data today, PMI data Monday, JOLTS Tuesday, ADP jobs report Wednesday, ISM services Wednesday, jobless claims Thursday, and then non-farm payrolls and unemployment Friday next week. And so next week is a really big week for jobs. We'll see what happens next week. But next week, the big, you know, optics are going to be on job reports, especially Friday, obviously. But, you know, we got a busy week of jobs all week that week. Let's do a poll. I didn't do one yet. What's a good poll for today? Does memory bounce back from these levels short term? Let's see. I think that's a good poll option, no? Does the memory sector rebound short term from the recent slumps? Yes or no? Does the memory sector rebound from the recent slump is the question here. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks, man. Appreciate your view. Favorite live stock channel right now. Thank you, Seth. We appreciate you, brother. Thank you, dude. Why is oil going up? Oil's going up because the Caspian pipeline announced that they may halt oil and tanker operations indefinitely here. So this is what is really driving oil right now. If you look at oil, I mean, oil was already kind of rebounding back up over the last little bit, but the Caspian pipeline, the CPC, has discussed an indefinite halt of oil and tanker operations until safety guarantees from other states. So that is what spiked oil here, right? But oil was already kind of moving up and this morning already, regardless of that. But here's where that news came out, right around here. And yeah, oil jumped up to $85 a barrel. So oil back up to some of these previous high levels, recent highs at least. But yeah, oil's still up. Markets are still nervous. Chips are starting to bounce back though. So we'll see what happens here. What are you cooking up? I see you're in the kitchen. What's on the menu? Bro, we don't have nothing over here, dude. Yeah, not part of the GameStop saga, but like the floor on that stock market makes me want to buy. Bearish opening fake out. Chips are up. Is the war heating up? I thoroughly enjoy your polls. So 77% out of about 100 votes, 77%, 78% now think memory does rebound short term from some of these recent slumps. Is this a trap market or is the market really up? Nice mug. Yeah, the mug says New Orleans coffee mug prescription. Mr. Hugh, Space Jazz, coffee prescription. Love the mug, honestly. Yeah, let's take a look at Bitcoin here. Here's Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin down a little bit, 63,000. Gold is down as well here. Oil predicted to be up to 200 for when? CPC has discussed an indefinite halt of oil and tanker operations. Yeah, that's what, is driving oil up. MU, though, still doing good. Amazon still doing good. Meta doing better on sentiment here, I guess. Google up a little bit as well. So most tech is green today. Apple, bad earnings, bad guidance, 308. So long metals. Nobody believes that, Dark. Oh, wait, maybe you are. I don't know. I can't remember. I know you're short in this market, but it's going to take years for China to close the gap. Their HBM production is generations behind. What's up, Sam? My answer regarding oil was more macro and long-term related. John and I are both corrected by honest opinion. Yeah. Don't forget, the president doesn't want to crash before midterms if we expect him to come out with some kind of news to rebound the market. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think that's very plausible ahead of midterms. Short sci-fi. Long metals. But my metals are physical. Oil won't go over 150 a barrel because production slows and stops around that price. Yeah, 150 a barrel is kind of high, man. I don't think we're going to... you got to think about it like this, right? The initial emotional reaction in oil was to go up to 120s, right? And so you got to think, like, are we going to get more escalation that competes with the initial announcement of the Iran conflict? And that's the question. And I don't necessarily think so. I think we might stabilize around here, even if we don't go down that much. I don't know. I mean, we might get over 90. We might test 100, but I don't know if we're getting to 150 necessarily here. We'd have to have a lot more escalation, which is possible. I mean, in this current geopolitical market, we don't really know what we're going to get. But... the question is, are we going to escalate enough to push us back to 120s, 130s, 140s, 150s? I don't necessarily think so, but it's certainly, it's certainly possible. I just don't necessarily think so. Does oil get up to 150 in the next year, guys? Yes or no in the chat? Let me know. We're at to 133. I don't know. Nasdaq 29,000 today. Yeah. Does oil get back up to 150s in the next year? I don't think so. But it could. I just don't think it will. No, no, no. I think the circuit breaker for oil. Doubt it. Yeah. Even, again, it could happen. I just don't think it's going to. Situational awareness should go 100x long on oil. Many margin calls wiped out weak money. Ask Leopold that, man. What a name, too, by the way. I hate to say that oil might get higher. It might get higher, but 150s is a different thing. 150 oil is going to be chaos if we get up there and stay up there. U.S. oil reserves are at a low, but it's still massive amount they will sell into the market. They won't let it go out of hand. Yeah, for sure. Leopold sold? Yeah, dude. Hundreds of millions of barrels left. Hey, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button, guys. We appreciate it. 84 barrel. Yeah, we're up to almost 85 right now for WTI crude. And a Rod ground invasion will cost 150. Yeah, Kospi, Samsung, SK Hynix, they rebounded a lot overnight, 18% or so. But again, investors seem to be picking AI winners during this earnings season. Amazon, one of the big winners. Meta, Google, not necessarily the big winners. But again, AWS blowout, 37% growth in AWS cloud. That is really why Amazon's up. They raised CapEx, but it still wasn't enough to freak people out because of such good AWS numbers. And so essentially the winners of this earnings season, when we look at like Amazon versus Meta or Google, is that companies that spend on AI infrastructure but show the receipts basically, but show revenue growth for that spending. Microsoft Azure, 34%. AWS, 37%. Those are the companies that are benefiting the most from this. But Microsoft's actually down a little bit because Microsoft is seen as somewhat of a proxy for software right now. At least it has been. So Microsoft not running up. It's also a competitor to Amazon. Again, Microsoft has Azure. Amazon has AWS. AWS grew 37%. Microsoft Azure grew 34%. And so there's a little bit of counter trade between Amazon and Microsoft as well. And I am in Microsoft and I believe I'm in Amazon. But Microsoft is up a lot yesterday regardless. So I don't think it'll get the 29,000, but we're talking to the NASDAQ. I mean, it could hit 29K today. It'd have to go up a decent amount. We'll have to wait and see if we get some volatility for the opening bell. I'm not home right now. Yeah, I'm not home. Tesla's a good swing trade. I bought and just sold. Yeah, I mean, Tesla bouncing back some, but it's still down a lot, you know? Like, look at Tesla from its earnings report. Tesla released its earnings right here. Look at the drop. Went from 380s down to 312s. Very large percentage here. Yeah, so it's Tesla's still down 20% or whatever that is from earnings. Is your nose okay? It's stuffy, if that's what you're asking. Why did Reddit dump? Reddit dumped on earnings. You know, Reddit down to 154 on earnings. Citadel trying to liquidate Kathy Woods on SpaceX. SpaceX honestly has been bouncing back though here a little bit, but it's still it hit 107s a few days ago. It bounced back more at the open yesterday, but didn't really hold. Tesla's still overpriced. Yeah, I mean their margins aren't good is the problem with Tesla, really. Like their margins are not good. And SpaceX might be Elon's baby now anyway, even though that's not really doing good either. But the margins on Tesla have never been good. You know, like you can look at just the EPS for Tesla and it's not high. You know, like the margins have never been good for Tesla. It's, you know, it's not a great margin business really getting into cars. And so most car companies don't have good margins like that. I invested in some hyperscalers. What happened to Apple? It's down 8%. Apple's down on bad guidance. So Apple did drop. Apple wasn't really CapEx sensitive like Amazon. But Apple's down on bad guidance yesterday is what dropped it. So Apple had disappointing guidance and announced supply constraints. So
data center firm Equinix is looking to raise at least $3 billion from a sale of U.S. investment-grade bonds, according to people familiar with the matter, selling into a recently weakened environment for debt related to the AI boom.
yeah. Oof.
I mean, since we're talking about hyperscalers.
Sure, yeah. What was the article? I kind of ADHD'd it. What is it?
Just says that data center firm Equinix or however you say it is looking to raise at least $3 billion from a sale of U.S. investment-grade bonds, according to the people familiar with the matter, selling into a recently weakened environment for debt related to the AI boom.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean,
yeah,
at least relevant.
Yeah. Hey, what's up? I see Code just messaged me. Universal Code. Good morning, bro. Just getting back from vacation. Definitely tune in. What's up, my guy? How you doing, dude?
What's up, man? Hope you had a good vacation.
Yeah. Why would Apple have bad account? Yeah, I mean, we've seen GDP, guys. Another story. I see Todd say, why would Apple have bad guidance if the economy was good? One of the big stories in markets right now is specifically GDP yesterday. GDP came out for quarter two. It was the advanced estimate for quarter two. It's the first time we get a look at quarter two GDP. The previous one was quarter one. GDP showed up, what was it, 1.5? Wait, what did GDP show up yesterday? I think it was 1.5, right? We got Michigan data today that will look at sentiment there with everything. But yeah, GDP posted up yesterday at 1.5%. So GDP is pulling back, like quarter one, 2.1%. Quarter two, 1.5% GDP. Now, again, this goes into next week with the big jobs report heavy week. Next week we have JOLTS, we have ADP monthly report, we have jobless claims, we have NFP data and unemployment next week, right? So going into all of that, it's a big week for jobs next week, right? So now there's worries about cracks in the economy after GDP, and we'll get a deeper look at that next week with jobs. Are jobs going to continue pulling back? Are jobs going to continue to look stagnant? Is the economy going to turn? And if the economy turns, it might be interpreted as a dovish thing unless people start to argue stagflation. Although, stagflation was a situation that happened when inflation was much higher than it is now. And the economy was much, much weaker than it is now. And so I would not say we're in a stagflation environment. I think the market likes to overuse the word stagflation. And I always use stagflation a lot anytime we get like data that shows high inflation and weak economics. But again, we're not in the same stagflation situation, dare I say stagflation-y situation that we were in when that original phrase was coined. So, all right, and looking at our poll, we're still showing 72% of people think the memory sector is going to rebound. I still think he has 10 billion. Yeah, he still got 10 billion, Andrew. But I mean, look, to go from 45 billion down to 10 from a shark move, I'm sure it stings a little bit. If it was me, if my name was Leopold and I was a 25-year-old billionaire hedge fund owner, who says I'm not? But if I was, I would be hurting a little bit. It would definitely sting a little bit. I'm sure his wife,
mad.
I'm sure his fiance is not happy. Go ahead, Britt.
Dude, I mean, how could you be that unhappy? Realistically, it would suck to lose, a quarter of your net worth. But at the same time, if you still got $10 billion left, dude, if that was me, I would take my $10 billion, my new wife, and ride off into the sunset, and nobody would ever hear from me again.
Yeah. Well, it's his firm's money, the 10 billion. So it's not liquid. It's not,
I know, but however much money he has, it's kind of, the point was I would take my tens of millions or hundreds of millions or whatever he has left, and I would be gone.
Yeah. No, for sure.
But I know that's not the nature of people who do these things. So
Yeah.
Generally.
Supreme Johnny's basement. Oh, this is a nice basement then, bro. John, do you think he goes on tilt now? I don't know.
I want a kitchen in my basement, dude.
Yeah, dude, I'd love a kitchen in my basement, bro. Some say they should have kitchens in basements.
Heard it said.
New wife. Yeah, I mean, look, he was supposed to get married tomorrow, too. Just to dig in a little bit more. I am trading today. I've traded already. I lost, but I traded. Ego will take over. He's going to get sued. Yeah, he might. Honestly, at this point in time, he might. Yeah, 73% think the memory sector rebounds. Let's see, bro. MU back up to over 900s here. 912s. I don't know, man. What are the plays today? I think we got to watch memory. You know, here's MU 913s. Here's SanDisk 1300s. I think we got to watch memory. I think those are the big plays. NVIDIA still under 200 though. HBM constraints making maybe, still might make people nervous regarding NVIDIA. Hey, what
did you say, John? You just opened the world's new largest asset management company?
Yeah. John's hedge fund is what it is. John's hedge fund. We're going to keep it simple. Simplicity is key. Do you think Michael Berry is still holding his short positions? I heard somebody said he doubled his positions here. Let me look at this. But
he might regret that. Although then again, he might just make a bunch more money. Let's see. If he did it.
Yeah. He could. I mean, that's basically betting that chips are going to continue down. But thank you for the donation, my friend. But yeah, I'm looking this up now. But some people said Burry doubled his short positions in markets right now. And I don't know. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. Again, Chad, if you're just now tuning in, Amazon, big story. Raised CapEx, but had the cloud growth to justify it. Rip it up this morning. Another big story floating around markets is that Situational Awareness LP, a big hedge fund centered on AI that was up huge amounts short term from $220 million to $45 billion, got liquidated yesterday ahead of the opening bell. Essentially, the reason they did, and the rumors is that Ken Griffin at the Citadel put out a lot of negative sentiment regarding rate hikes, that we would raise rates on Wednesday, helping dump markets down. Chips were already down big. Michael Burry shorting big chips and more. And then once my guy had to sell and liquidate his positions, Ken Griffin, who again was rumored to have put out some of that bad news, swooped in and bought it up for 50 cents on the dollar. His name was Leopold. Or his name is Leopold still, but, but yeah, so I'm reading here that yesterday, Burry did add to his positions. Yeah, so the Substack disclosure yesterday, Thursday, at around 5:40 Eastern time. Added to NVIDIA in December. Added to NVIDIA December 18, 2026 puts, he said, in the low 100 strike range. Increased Micron short around 880s. Added to his SOC short around 506. And added to the QQQ puts. So Burry did add to his short positions here. He went long on, this is what I'm showing Burry added to yesterday in his disclosure on Substack. Again, he added more puts on NVIDIA. Increased Micron shorts around 880s. Micron's up to 9 something now, though. Added to his SOC short around 506. Added to his Q shorts with January 15, puts around the high 500 strike range. He did go long in DraftKings, sports betting, Flutter sports betting, ZTS, Animal Health, and Lululemon. So Burry did add to his short positions to make the situation a little bit scarier here. If it goes over 1,000 for MU, I'll have to cover. Source, trust me, bro. Hey, but thank you for the donation. Thank you for the donation, my friend. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So do you think him adding to a short position could cause him to drop more, just based on psychology?
Maybe a little bit. I think it's a risky time to do it, but maybe a little bit. Here's the S&P here's the Nasdaq still dipping down. We're at 28,500s now. This level could be a support level. But yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be some sentiment like, oh, Burry added to his short positions, and I think maybe they'll have a little bit more credence just because he was right so far. He was right so far. I mean, especially yesterday, the day before. Today, it's looking like he's down a little bit in MU, but he's still probably green. in a lot of these. Again, he added to the SOX ETF. SOX ETF is up, but he's still probably green. I think he originally shorted this at like 700. So, yeah. Again, this is round 2 of the short increases. On Friday, round 1, he added to the NVIDIA short around 210s, shorted Micron at 930. So now he's green on NVIDIA, added to SOX around 535. Caterpillar, he shorted that one as well. Where's Caterpillar at? Yeah, I mean, Caterpillar's up, but it's still down. I think he's shorting this one at like over 1,000 too. So, if he added yesterday to MU at 880s, he is maybe a little... He's still probably green, though, if he's shorting this one from over 1,000. GDP was Bury signal. Yeah, here's oil. Oil back over 85s right now, though. I got it shorted NVIDIA at 225s. Bullish on yoga pants. Bury is. You can take that. Hey, quote that. Bullish on yoga pants. Lululemon is an absolute dumpster fire, though, bro. Yeah, the forward PE on MU is what, like 6? It's something crazy small like that, which is great. Like, that's a good price to earnings ratio. I got short on SanDisk at 5,000. Yeah, I bought Amazon at 300s. You know, just joking. Haha. Don't take me serious. I'm just jumping in this, you know, SanDisk short at 5K. What's the play today, though, guys? What do you guys want to buy? What sector do you guys want to buy today? Let me know in chat. SanDisk is at 1300s, but I don't think Bury's shorting SanDisk. It might move too much for him, I think, based off of the last year. Got it to 1400s, though, last night. Average is 925 on MU. You want to buy chips today? Import? Yeah, Kashkari's speaking right now, and Kashkari was one of the dissenters here. So Kashkari did speak a little bit right now. Yeah, so Fed President Neil Kashkari said he dissented at the last FOMC meeting because he preferred a 25 basis point hike. He said repeated supply shocks and rising data center investment risk making inflation more persistent. He favors gradual rate increases to prevent entrenched inflation while preserving flexibility to pause if price pressures ease. He says small steps would let FOMC pause, slow if inflation fades. Series of small moves would be better than waiting. Monetary policy can address excessive supply shocks. Incremental hikes would manage risk. So... Hassett, on the other end, Hassett is kind of dovish here. Hassett did say on race he thinks we could stay where we are in a Fox Business interview. He said rates could stay steady. Hard to motivate interest rate hike with current data. So kind of getting some split. I mean, one's hawkish, one's dovish. We already kind of knew this here, I think. But yeah, Kashkari, which was one of the dissenters, did say if inflation durably fades, a strategy of small steps would allow the FOMC to slow or pause subsequent adjustments without unnecessary impact on the economy. Bury shut down his hedge fund side asset management in November. Yeah, but... Again, this is after he got into a series of shorts last year. I remember when Bury did that. But, yeah. I think that time he was wrong. This time he's right. Memory for the day. Dollar cost average on Apple. Small dip in chips. Amazon so far so good. Full port DRAM and Q calls. So people like taking inverse Bury. Gold might finally break 4,000 in August. Amazing people still care about Bury when he is an objective failure with this hedge fund. Yeah, I mean, but I think in this situation, you know, people have given Bury a lot of heat, and he's been wrong a lot, right? He's definitely, somebody said he was right about everything. Maybe this last instance of his round of shorts, but historically he has not been right about everything. People look at him as the guy from The Big Short, and so they're like, oh, well, Bury's, you know, I mean, he'll definitely slap me with his wallet. But he was right about these last shorts. I mean, that's objectively true at this point in time. So he was correct about his last shorts. He's green in almost all of them, if not all of them. At this point in time, I think he might be green in all of them now with NVIDIA being under $200 a share. If he shorted Nvidia at 210s or two whatevers, he's green in that one now too. So he's green on AMAT, he's green on Nvidia, he's green on SOX, he's green on MU. So I mean, we could say what we want about Burry, good or bad, but in the very least, he was right about his recent short positions.
Well, when you win big enough, you don't have to be right that often, I guess.
Did you just say you added a? Yeah, that's right. Did you just say you added a 5K short on SanDisk? No. People are joking around about getting into unreasonable entries. Oil is moving higher today, guys. So oil all the way up to 85.30s right now. 85.30s. Yeah, I mean, you throw darts at a dartboard, eventually it's going to happen. So if you bet on market crashes, eventually you're going to get one. You got to get it right eventually. But if you're early, you're still wrong. And so it's going on one of those things where maybe Burry was early in his previous shorts. But again, like the example I always use, and we can pull up MU as an example because it's probably the best thing to look at here. But what you got to consider is that if you call the market crash here, and then we run up and then we correct like we have in memory, you're still over where you called the crash at. And so this is why early is still wrong. Because if you call a crash way back there and you're wrong and you're early like this, even if we do dump like we have in memory, we're still above where you called the crash at. And so, I don't know. This rebound is fake and they are long. I'm also green in most of our portfolios. I guess I am right too. People are buying oil not because of news, but because it's Friday. Yeah, I mean, Friday, definitely a factor. But I think we also had news about the Caspian pipeline halting operations for oil and tankers indefinitely earlier. Oil was already on the move up, though, prior to that. So I don't hate that, argument necessarily, Max. But yeah, oil has been heading higher here. Again, 85.20s right now for oil, so... I believe SanDisk is going to go to at least 1550 before earnings. Yeah, I mean, SanDisk is one of the interesting ones. It's back to 1300s. SanDisk, the problem with like buying or even selling it, and this is probably why Burry didn't get involved with this, is because the variance here, the volatility in this thing is high. $40 12 months ago, went all the way to 2300s. Even the last earnings report, it was down here during its last earnings report. It was at like 600. And so it went from 600 last earnings to 2500, 2400, back down to under 1000 for a little while. Now it's back up to 1300s. It's just volatile, man, for SanDisk. Are you guys long or short today? What do you guys think? Strategy not buying Bitcoin anymore? Yeah, Strategy had bad earnings. Coinbase had bad earnings yesterday also here. So like Strategy did have pretty rough earnings. So did Coinbase, to be honest, man. Coinbase dumpster earnings. Here's Coinbase right now. It looks like it bounced back a little bit today, or no, it didn't. Yeah, look at Coinbase. Coinbase fell a lot. Strategy fell a lot. Not good earnings. Long, short, long, kind of split down the middle. Today's a short day. Yeah. Will it retrace to 1100 to 1150 regarding SanDisk? Oil looking bullish. $87 to $89. What's up, Jay Violet? How you doing today?
Hey, what's up, Violet?
I mean, the VIX falling is good for markets. You shouldn't be scared unless you're short. So the VIX falling is good if you for longs. The VIX is down because markets are up right now. The VIX went up to 20 though prior to this during the microchip slump. Long in the S&P. I'm gonna short the heck out of SanDisk. Hey, what's up, Vegas? How you doing, dude? Too much risk with SanDisk. Yeah, there's a lot of volatility for it. It's a bull trap today, Rain. Hey, we'll see. Visa had excellent earnings. That's why it surpassed all-time highs. Yeah, I mean, it got up there. 373s for Visa. It's not all-time highs, though. 375 is the all-time high. It hit that in 2025, last year, about a year ago. So Visa didn't break all-time highs, actually. Yeah, I'm crazy but not stupid. Yeah, I might be early, but I'm not wrong. You know? Yeah, we can look at Google here, man. Google up to 337s. People calling bull trap sold at the bottom. Well, oh, Leopold did. Again, to make it worse for Leopold, markets rebounded the very next day. Like literally this, or really I think it was the same day. He got liquidated yesterday morning. Markets flew yesterday at the opening bell. So markets ripped up yesterday. Amazon had good earnings, boosted markets. So yeah, I got wiped out on SanDisk last week. What's up, Mo? I held it all the way from 1,700 to 1,000. Did you really, Mo? Yeah, I mean, I'm not buying SanDisk, dude. It's just, it's moving too much. Citadel will bag hold the bulls. Yeah, baby. Yeah, I remember that plasma. I remember that trade. Yeah, Citadel did know what they were doing, and I can't even knock them that much, bro. Like, everybody's all critical of the Citadel. People might still hate them from the GameStop situation, but you know, if you got influence, you're gonna use it. Again, though, like going back to what I said yesterday, chat. If you can find discrepancies, I told you guys ahead of the Fed meeting that markets were overpricing in hike odds. We took a long in gold prior to the Fed meeting because I thought when we paused all those over bets on hikes, you know, we would get a big dovish reaction because we didn't hike and we paused and gold ripped up. We made money from it. And so if you can find discrepancies in markets where things are overpriced in or underpriced in or however you want to look at it, you can make money. There's some good trades. I would say those are some of the best trades to get involved with. I only day trade. Given the weekend ahead, the geopolitical situation simmering, I see the SPY going down today. I might be wrong. Yeah, I mean, maybe. But we've seen both sides of that. Like over the weekend, we've seen good and bad news for geopolitics. And so it's not all bad over the weekend. There's been a lot of weekends where we've gapped up really heavily, like Sunday open, because, you know, there's tensions easing and more. So it could be good news or bad news over the weekend. Hedge funds made liquidations worse. Yeah, Leopold was over leveraged. Yeah, that was the thing. Yeah, I knew the high odds were fishy, man. I knew we were, like, again, I had a very simple argument. And my simple argument was that CPI showed up cooler than expected. Even if it was outdated, even if a wheel was higher from the June period, we did have cooler CPI prints right before this Fed meeting, right? And so what does that mean? That means that that's going to be the roadblock to hikes. That means hikes are super unlikely. Warsh is in there now. It just meant hikes were super unlikely. You know, much less likely than the 34% that markets were giving it ahead of the Fed meeting. So that's why you saw huge red candles. That might have been why I predicted dive down on Monday. Makes me want to watch Billions TV show. Billions is a great show. Citadel's the new Hindenburg. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not good. But Amazon, again, guys, big story of the day. Amazon raised CapEx to $220 billion, but they had the cloud growth to justify it. 37% AWS growth for Amazon, even though they raised CapEx $20 billion. Microsoft or Meta is probably heated right now because Meta only raised CapEx by $5 billion on the bottom end line and absolutely dumped. Although, again, Meta's EPS margins were not good. So Meta wasn't just CapEx, even though that's some of the story. It was margin related with big miss in margins. Expected over 7, they showed 6 something. So I appreciate the show and the analytics. It helps me a lot with my busy schedule. I watched I didn't see all of Billions. I watched the first season. I think I watched the first and the second season when he was battling. Who's the guy that he was battling? The Attorney General, whatever his name was.
Like a rap battle?
Yeah, like a rap battle, Britt. That's exactly right. You know.
I mean, I'm kidding, obviously, but I never watched that show.
Yeah, he came out in Billions and he was like, your hedge fund's generic, mine's authentic made. You know, he buys like a renegade. You know, you need margin aid, he says. Yeah, that's right. Huge red candles are institutionals dumping shares.
Doing pretty good, Nathan. Thanks for asking.
Yeah. Yeah, Chuck. Yeah, Chuck is who I'm thinking of. Yeah. Yeah. Bars, that's right. Y'all know.
John, are you spitting ill rhymes again?
That's right, dude. That's what I do here, bro. That's what I do here. That's why people tune in. I believe that's why they watch. You know, I knew that. It just comes to me.
It totally is. MC Johnny.
Yeah. Top of the dome. It just comes to me here. You know. Hey, what's up, Anthony? What's up, fellas? What a day yesterday. Yeah, yesterday was interesting. Yeah, let's look at oil, though. Oil has creeped up here to over $85 a barrel this morning, though. So oil's still not low, but markets are not pricing it in as much as they have. Love to see it. Hey, thank you, Trebek. Navy ordered. Yeah, I'm looking at news. Again, we had Kashkari speaking. We had Hassett speaking earlier. Hassett says we'll continue measures to keep oil prices down if needed. He's done with his remarks as of about 30 seconds ago. I see Moonshot's Kimmy built on 20,000 NVIDIA chip cluster, according to Alibaba. Again, 20,000 NVIDIA chip cluster is what it was built on, according to Alibaba. Hassett did say he thinks the 10-year treasury yield climb is a temporary matter. Says expect AI productivity will help push inflation down. But with all the data centers getting built, obviously it's the opposite case right now. Aren't September hikes all but confirmed? Yeah, if we look at the odds for rates right now. If we look at the odds for rates here. As of now, September has a 65% chance likely. This is actually higher than what it was yesterday. I think it was at 60% yesterday. Right after the Fed meeting, it was at 75%, though. So we still have a 65% chance that we're going to raise rates in the next meeting, in the September meeting. And that's generally what the Fed does. They usually make rate moves the last quarter. So again, it's looking like we might, or the last three meetings is when they usually make rate decisions. Right now, it's looking 65% chance that we will raise rates in September. And this is a good question for the chat. Do we raise rates in September? Or do things settle even more? Do we get more optimism? Do we get lower oil prices? Do we get better inflation data? Just to give you guys the argument for a rate hike here next meeting. All right, so this is the argument. Okay, so prior to the September meeting, we're going to have July inflation data come out. Oil stabilized a lot in June. That's why the last CPI report was lower, which is probably why we didn't raise. Oh my gosh, freaking. But yeah, so oil prices did stabilize in June, which is why the CPI print was lower, which in my opinion is why we did not raise rates Wednesday. July, oil's back up to $85 a barrel. You know, so what you have to consider here is what the next CPI print is going to look like. It's not next week, it's the week after, I believe. So it's not next week, it's the week after for CPI print. But this is going to be from July. An escalation happened in July. Oil prices went up in July. And so leading into that next Fed meeting for September, I'll have to see if we get the September CPI data. What's the date on this? September 16th. So we will get September CPI as well. Or we will get August inflation data as well. Right? So it's going to depend on that, but that's pretty close to the Fed meeting. So I think they're going to be looking more heavily at the July print. And in the July print, we should have higher inflation than we got last time. Why? Because oil is back up to $85 a barrel. It's more elevated. You know, during the June meeting, it hit lows of oil, of WTI crude, of like $68 a barrel. So those are basically pre-conflict prices. That's why CPI was so low. That's why we didn't raise rates, is because CPI slowed. The issue now is that July, more escalation, higher oil. It's up $20 a barrel, it's up almost $20 a barrel relative to where it was in June. And so when the CPI report generally shows up around the 10th through the 15th. And so again, the July CPI report that we get for in August next month is going to be probably higher than the 3.5 print we got last time for CPI. And that's a reason where heading into the next meeting, maybe we'll have more hike justification here in a lot of people's minds, I think. What do you guys think? You guys think that's right? Do we hike rates in September, I said? Let's look at the chat. All right, I see probably. Nope. No, we raise rates. Nah, we pause again. No, yes. Yes, September hike. Oil's not going down. No. Poll it. Maybe it's a good poll. What's up, Coach Kelly? How you doing, bro? No. Yes to a rate hike. Yes, hike confirmed. I think it's still too early, but I think it depends. Yeah, Drew Brees for president, 100%. But no, I think we do get higher inflation data next month, early next month. And maybe that'll be a big argument for a rate hike. I don't know. It really is going to depend. We do have some data releasing at 8:30 today, though. We're still watching oil here. I don't think it's big data. I don't think it's going to move markets. Michigan consumer sentiment at 10 might. And might is the key word here regarding the data today. But we do get something at 8:30 here. What do we get? We get employment cost benefit, or employment cost index. So it measures how much businesses and government pay for labor. So stronger is generally like hawkish, lower is generally dovish. But I don't know if this is necessarily going to move markets. We also have Chicago PMI at 945, but Michigan consumer sentiment and inflation expectations at 10 today is probably the biggest data print that we're going to have today. We don't even know if that's going to move markets, but it's probably the largest print we're going to get today. Unless oil falls, I think he pauses again. I think you got it opposite, brother. Oil might fall, and that might be the justification for the pause. If oil falls, I think it's a higher likelihood that we pause, not lower. You got to think, like, the reason we hike is inflation fears. What makes inflation worse? Higher oil prices, right? So if oil falls, it'll be more justification in a pause next meeting versus a rate hike. Is what it is. What do you think about Amazon? I think Amazon raised CapEx, but had the cloud growth to justify it, with AWS growing 37%. So Amazon's doing great. It's helping markets rebound here. Amazon, when it's up a lot. Yeah, Amazon's up a lot now. We'll see if we get some corrections at the opening bell. Chips have rebounded on higher CapEx spending, but still. Here's MU at 9.10s basically right now. I forgot to buy calls yesterday. They won't raise rates before the next election. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. All right, there's 8:30 here. So we did just get 8:30. Employment costs showed up at 0.9%. Slightly stronger than expected. Slightly stronger than expected. This should be a little bit bearish for markets here, because it's a little bit supportive of the dollar. Higher yields potential with higher costs. And honestly, the NASDAQ is wiggling a little bit from this. It's at 28.47s right now. So we are moving some here. But yeah, we did get news earlier from Exxon CEO. He says gas prices remaining at elevated levels. Again, Moonshot Kimi builds on AI on Alibaba's NVIDIA cluster. So Chinese AI startup Moonshot built its Kimi model using access to an Alibaba computing cluster of around 20,000 NVIDIA GPUs, according to Bloomberg. So it highlights Alibaba's role in supplying large-scale AI infrastructure as competition among Chinese AI developers intensify. But yeah, we did get a little bit of data here. Nothing super big, though. Again, a little bit more hawkish, I would say, for yields is what this could be. Like a tad bit more hawkish here. Let's look at 2-year Treasury yields. I don't think I've looked at them today. They're up from where they were yesterday. And yeah, yields did jump up a little bit on this data, actually, believe it or not. So employment cost numbers showing up slightly stronger at 0.9 versus 0.8, but still... we have seen a little bit of a jump in yields. This is also probably just from the higher oil prices today in regards to yields moving up. Again, higher prices in oil means higher inflation, which means higher rate sentiment, which is higher yields, right? Yields and rate sentiment follow or correlate. So, yeah. Higher inflation means we have a higher likelihood of rate hikes. Higher likelihood of rate hikes means yields go up, means bonds pay out more, means less people buy gold. So oil rising is going to make yields go up. And we did see a jump in yields. And oil's still at $85 a barrel. Do you guys like a longer short in oil right now? I almost want to short oil here. I think it maybe it's gone up too much. I'm thinking about it. This is a bad idea. I don't know, dude. Long oil, short oil, bro. We never get it clean. I guess we do a lot. I'm done for the day. Made my 150. What's up, light? Went shorted at the moment. Long term, long. Short term, short. No position. Long. Buy gold instead of oil. I mean, buying gold is basically a short on oil. Gold goes up as yields go down, and yields go down when oil falls. So buying gold would basically be a short on oil right now. Top 3 bad idea? Yeah, it might be, bro. Yeah. If I'm right, you'll never hear the end of it, though. That's all I'm saying. Again, employment cost index should have been 0.9 versus 0.8 expected and 0.9 previously. I'll put these numbers up in chat right now. I told you disagree with you that the number at 8:30 and 10 o'clock today do not move markets. I'm not saying they don't move markets. I'm saying they might not. And that's all I'm saying. So I'm not even saying they don't. I'm saying it depends on what the number shows up as, right? Like, that's what matters most. It's not like, look, it could move markets. Michigan data can move markets. We've seen it historically where it does, and we've seen it historically where it does not. But it all has to do with what the number is. You know, if the number shows up flat, nothing's going to move, you know, really. But if the number shows up high for inflation expectations, low for consumer sentiment, markets might go down from Michigan data. The employment cost numbers still didn't move markets that much here. So I don't think they moved it a lot. I think, you know, everything's probably just reacting to higher oil. 10K shorter than NASDAQ. Yeah, but right now, gold was up when oil was up during the war. Yeah, but again, it's not a perfect correlation. Right now, though, gold is rate sensitive. Picks up 0.4%. Is it? Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it can't move markets. I'm just saying it might not. Yeah, VIX did jump up a little bit, which is bearish. Yeah, but keep in mind the market hasn't opened yet. This pre-market, we still have 10 o'clock news. Yeah, for sure. We got 10 a.m. data. We got something. Michigan data is biased. It's gotten worse over the last few years. What's your prediction for gold today? It depends on what oil does. Gold is having an emotional moment at the therapist's office. If SK Hynix pamped 18% last night, shouldn't ADR? Yeah, but it's kind of already reacted to it. You got to think it's open in pre-market right now. So, and it's green in pre-market, don't get me wrong. But I wish it was that easy where I could just watch what the Kospi and SK Hynix did in the Kospi and then, you know, hours later take the same trade and it does the same thing that it did overnight. I would love for markets to be like that, Pew. But sometimes they're just not like that, brother. Again, I say it all the time with earnings. I would love for a company to be able to report good EPS and good revenue and good guidance and just be an easy buy. But sometimes that happens and they drop 10%. You know, sometimes that happens and on the other end and they run up 10%. So it's just not that easy. You know, markets react immediately, usually, to this stuff. And not even immediately, but preceding a lot of these releases, markets react. Not necessarily easy reactions once you get them. What's your prediction for memory stocks today? I don't really have a prediction. Honestly, they could honestly go either way here. Like, memory names could reverse big, they could run big, they could continue the big rebound, or they could come back some. I really don't know what memory names are going to do. What do y'all think Amazon does at the opening bell? I think that's a good question. What do you guys think Amazon does? But it's the same company 10 hours earlier. Yeah, but it's already reacted to that news, though, Pew. Amazon 280 by tomorrow. Flat.
Oh, hey, Tiny. What's up?
Hey, how you doing, Tiny? Watching for gold support around 40.60 to 40.50s. somebody's awake here. Let's see who it is. It's Carol. Carol's up, guys.
Hey, what's up, Carol?
She's looking at me like
Mean mugging you?
Yeah.
Giving you the mad morning look?
Yeah. Well, she's basically like, bro, your camera's facing the kitchen. How am I supposed to get in here? I don't know, baby. I'm sorry.
Just ignore it and go anyway, is what I would do.
She hasn't had coffee yet. No, she's not. Carol's kind of a coffee snob. You hear that, Carol? You're a coffee snob. I love you. You know, I got to pat it a little bit with the I love you, but definitely a coffee snob. You know?
But like she only drinks fine artisan coffee.
I don't get a response from that. She said, no, I'm sorry. I'm half awake. Okay, that's fair. I'll allow it. I'll allow it. Amazon at 259s.
Be careful, John. You might get a drive-by slap in the back of the head.
I might show up with a black eye tomorrow, but
I was a battered husband. You haven't seen Drowning Mona?
yeah. I don't know what I want to do with Amazon here yet. I think Amazon raised CapEx, but they had crazy good cloud growth, but they've already reacted really, Today's short day, no long. Short or long, guys? Let the chat hear it. Let's know. Lurkers, by the way, guys, listen. We got over 1,100 people here right now. I'm not saying we don't appreciate you, lurkers. I'm not saying you're not allowed to lurk. You know, lurk while I work should be your phrase here today. But if you watch the stream and you never say something, communicate with us. You know, let us know you're here. You might not exist if we don't hear you in the chat right now. So lurkers, show yourself. We
smash the like button.
Yeah.
You know.
So short, long. Just stay long. Oil price prediction, please. I don't know what oil's gonna do. I'm looking at oil kind of for a short here. But just because it's up a lot already on the day, so I'm looking at oil for a short right here. But hey, what's up, pizza? Any report today? Not really. We got Michigan data at 10. We had 6 straight down days. We are due for some recovery. That's probably true, family. Or lurk while I work. I am in the superposition of lurking and not lurking. What will Apple do today? I don't know. Apple dropped a lot from bad guidance numbers. So, we'll see if Apple rebounds. Morning Teach. I'm a brand new subscriber. What's up, Brandon? How you doing, bro? Everybody say hey to Brandon. He's new here. So, say hey to Brandon.
Hey, Brandon. What's up, man?
Yeah.
How's it going? Thanks for subscribing.
How you doing, Brandon? You long or short today, Brandon? Worst July in 20 years on the NASDAQ. Apple, I got the Truth Social plug. Bro, share the knowledge, dude. Share the knowledge. Hey, Jiu-Jitsu Trades and my guy, Bruce. Lurking while twerking.
That's some talent right there, you know? Multitasking.
Yeah, see, Brandon, you're already a known name here. Look, you just joined the stream. All right, baby. All right, love you.
Every time they walk behind you, that camera angle makes them look like they're like 6 foot tall.
Oh, Carol's definitely not 6 feet, you know.
I know. I know.
I feel so tall next to Carol, bro. I really do. I'm not the tallest guy, but like I feel tall next to Carol.
No, I experienced the same phenomenon, which is, yeah, I'm not tall either. So
yeah,
even my dad, I was just curious. Like I haven't done my height in like a long time. So I had my dad, like, you know, just use a measuring tape the other day, like 2 inches shorter than I thought I was. I'm not gonna tell everybody that's all I actually am, but I'm not.
Yeah,
it's like, dude, there's no way. Like, I must have like spinal compression or something. This is ridiculous.
It's definitely your posture, bro. I'm gonna pull the Michael Scott treatment. You know, I'm gonna go measure myself and then say I grew half an inch. You know, at 30 something. So I'm gonna pull the Michael Scott treatment. Working on vacation, yeah, you know.
I'm still not short, but I'm just not as tall as I thought.
Okay, so wait, we got a donation, a $50 donation by Magical Pop. Magical Pop, the donation's magical.
Thank you, Magical Pop.
Wow. You know?
Genuinely appreciated. Thank you.
He said, hey, new here as well. I know markets are sketchy, so here is your play money for today. I challenge you to flip it high today. $50 to $500. Let's go. You back? No, you're not back? Okay. Yeah, so I don't know how to flip 50 into 500, bro. You know, you're going to have to take some risk for that. But how do you guys do that today? I think you got to go with options. If you're trying to flip $50 into 500, you got to go with options and you got to look for some volatility. You got to take a big reward to risk trade as well here in that context. But thanks so much for the donation, my friend. Thank you, brother. Magical Pop. But how would you guys flip 50 to 500 today? If you had to do it, I don't necessarily recommend you do it because you're probably losing. You know, you got pretty good odds of losing that $50, my friend. But how would you guys do it? I think you got to go with options if you're going to do 50 to 500. That's the only way you really can, I think, in markets, unless you're playing pennies. Yeah, you can go small caps, look for small cap runners. That's a way. You could go options and try to find some cheap options and look for big volatility there. I think it's the only way. 3 micros? Yeah, 3 micros is going to cost way more than $50, dude. I mean, turning... Yeah, so if you're trying to do 50 to 500, you got to go with options, I think, or penny stocks. Crypto, yeah, crypto's a way too. It's going to be hard pressed to find anything. And I mean, you can go crypto, actually. Crypto might work. You leverage trade MU or SanDisk? Yeah, but not for $50, you're not going to. Yeah, I'm 5'10". They're lucky I don't round up to 6 foot, though. You know. On a Friday, no. Margin call wiped me out. SanDisk. YOLO Kalshi. You can't in one day. I mean, you could. It's just low odds. I'm here. What's up, homework? Options risky, but high returns. Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. You got to go into it understanding you might lose that money and just swing for the fences if you're trying to go 50 to 500. Yeah, I heard about Leopold tomorrow of AI. I did hear about him, dude. Again, Leopold, Ken Griffin. Shark move, dude. Citadel shark move. Rate hike odds were put out, allegedly, by Ken Griffin. Allegedly, guys, allegedly. Don't come after me, Ken. Freaked markets out. Leopold and his hedge fund got liquidated from too high of margin in AI names, and then the Citadel and Ken Griffin swoop in and buy it up for 50 cents on the dollar. Shark move. Remarkable tricks. Yeah. Yeah, poor Leopold. But that's how it goes, man, in this market. That's finance for you, bro. Somebody didn't watch Billions enough to understand it. Yeah, look at Apple, though. Apple down to 306. Does anybody want to buy Apple today? AXTI, yeah, it's running up big, too. Yeah, I mean, they're definitely a sharky behavior here for them. Yeah, AXTI is flying up. I just looked at it. It's a big move. Hello? Yeah. Yeah. Alright, love you too. Bye. Ugh. Apple's a buy. Look at Google post earnings. Apple is a safety trade. No, I don't want to buy Apple. Options are how smart money hedge their positions. What's up, Nas? Under 300, Apple load up. Long term, I mean, you got to understand, though, Apple has been breaking all-time highs here. You know, so Apple's been running. You know, look at Apple. So Apple is at all-time highs. I mean, obviously it reversed a lot, but it seems like an okay pullback at Apple, to be honest here. Yeah, he probably should have taken profits. But again, I want to give my shout out to Magical Pop. Thanks again for the the $50 donation, brother. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it, Magical Pop.
IREN. Hey, what's up, Cajun Crypto? Dude, we got a lot of Louisianians here, and I appreciate you guys. Just know, look, love to everybody else, but if you're from Louisiana, you're cooler than everybody else in the chat room. I just want to tell you guys that. Like, if you're from Louisiana, you're just cooler than everybody else, okay? We don't play favorites. Yeah, there's just some... Go ahead, Britt.
There's just something in the water down here. You know, we can't help it.
Yeah, listen. We don't play favorites, but if you're from Louisiana, you're definitely my favorite. All right? Yeah, Apple also fell. Services and iPad revenue were bad, for sure, yesterday. And services is the big one. China revenue was okay, but services is the big one. Like, them coming in under expectations for services on Apple is the big bad news. Outside of, guidance. Nah, John, anyone from Atlanta is cooler. What's so cool about Louisiana? Bro, what is not cool about Louisiana? I guess you could say the crime. That's probably not that cool. But music, food, don't hate on Louisiana.
Definitely those two things. The culture is incredibly deep and interesting as well, in my opinion. Not cooler than Florida. Way cooler than Florida. You're wrong.
Yeah, what's cool in Louisiana? The shrimp. That's right. They're just cooler than other shrimp.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. I'm no hater, however, this wasn't super cool. Free Solo says Louisiana finished 50th overall ranking last in the U.S. News and World Report. Yeah, but I gotta break it to you. You're listening to finance news right now from Louisiana. I'm actually in Louisiana right now. Okay, and I'm from Louisiana. You're listening to finance news from a Louisianian. So don't worry about the stats. Let's just look at the honest truth here.
We're not talking about, unimportant stuff like education or healthcare. We're talking about just like coolness level and food.
That's right. Yeah. Don't remind me about health. Don't remind me about education. I don't want to hear it. Okay. Do I want my kids to go to school in Louisiana? No. Okay. But
no.
But Louisiana rocks, guys. Yeah. All right. Look. Anyway, here's the Nasdaq here. Oil just spiked back up, and you don't love to see it. You don't love to see it. Oil back up to 85.40s a barrel. Let's see if we have any news. U.S. expands import ban over alleged human rights abuses. Traders brace for S&P 500 volatility. Investors are increasing hedges against broader S&P swings as macro risks, including inflation, Fed uncertainty, and geopolitical tensions, take center stage. Goldman Sachs favors a reverse dispersion trade, betting on higher index volatility but lower single stock volatility. Demand for downside protection is also rising ahead of historical volatile August-September period. BCA Research is bullish on gold. Again, Fed held rates steady Wednesday, but markets are still viewing the meeting as dovish after Warsh suggested tighter financial conditions may already be doing some of the Fed work. But despite the pause, we had 3 dissenters in favor of a 25 basis point hike. Kalshi now pricing in 53% chance of a September hike. If we look at the odds on the Fed watch tool, it's at about 65% the last time I looked at it. Yeah, 65% chance of a rate hike odds on the Fed watch tool. By December now, the odds of a hike are 86% basically right now. 86% likely of a hike. Yeah. Yeah, I ate some McDonald's fries yesterday. And I gotta say they were good. They were good. I like McDonald's fries.
I didn't even know they had new food items, and I don't like McDonald's fries.
Well, you're wrong, Britt.
Burger King for life.
Burger Kings are too thick. It doesn't have the crisp.
Well, now they are. They didn't used to be. They were better when they were like thinner cut.
Yeah. Donaldsonville here. Hey, what's up, Cajun? Thank you, bro. Yeah. You're cooler than everybody else, Cajun. Retail is gonna buy this run up. Yeah, I don't know, man. We're heading into the 9 o'clock scrum. Let's see what we happen. Let's see what we get at 9 o'clock. But again, the Kospi Index did rebound overnight. Memory names are back up today. Oil is back up today. Amazon is up. Apple is down. And so we're heading into an interesting morning for a Friday, all things considered. We do have Michigan data at 10. We got Chicago PMI at 9:45. Not the biggest reports, but there's something. So.
Okay, not gonna say anything.
Oh my gosh, dude.
What is it, John? Did Timmy fall down the well?
No, freaking Trinity, the rapper, showed up in my chat again. Oil now falling down some. Look at oil drop here. Look at oil fall. 85.40s here for oil. Is this a top for oil, or do we keep rising today, man? I don't know. I still have kind of a short thesis on this. Let's see what gold's doing. Gold is down to 4100s here. But it seems like maybe a top. I don't know. South Korea market went up 15%. Yeah, I mean, memory names are up a little bit. MU is back over 900s. SanDisk is back up to 1300s. SK Hynix is back up some. And so the Kospi index is relevant because it's filled with memory names, and memory names have been what's dragging the market down, and which are also up over the last 24 hours. So 10-year hit 4.7%. Gold is down on the day. It's probably because oil's higher. Oil going up means gold goes down right now, I think, with it being rate sensitive.
Yeah, but it does seem to be staying around the 440s for now.
Yeah. For gold.
Morning, Faye.
Hey, what's
How
up,
are
Faye?
you doing?
Yeah, well, the U.S. dollar, Japanese yen, you know, the Bank of Japan did do their rate decision yesterday. We are a little bit green from this in dollar, Japanese yen. They ended up pausing rates. Some people thought they would hike, but they ended up pausing. So I'm looking at Apple. All right, guys, we got 5 minutes until the 9 o'clock scrum. Let's see what we get. Oh, dude, I'm excited for the weekend.
Why?
Because I don't have to wake up early, bro.
Oh, I do. You got to make hay while the sun shines, John.
Yeah, I know, dude. I know. I'm a morning person. I drive the rest of my house crazy. I love the mornings.
I don't love them, but once I'm up, I like to enjoy them.
Yeah, they're good. Kospi did a dead cat bounce, almost filled the gap. Again, does memory correct at the opening bell or continue its rally? I think that's a story today, what memory does. Oil's starting to pop back higher here, though. Look. Here's oil. Still at the highs at 85.50s today. Almost $86 a barrel. I don't like oil over 90, obviously. I don't think anybody does, really.
Hey, is that a Big Bang Theory reference?
Ken Griffin.
I actually am a night owl. I have to fight my nature and not stay up all night.
Yeah, see, Dan said Ken Griffin needs to sell his shares. He got them for 50 cents on the dollar, though, bro. Why would he sell them now? Pump and dump for me. Scroll down, see last price checked. My pup wakes me up at 4 a.m. Oil still moving up here, chat. Here's 9 o'clock in 3 minutes. Let's see what we get some movement at 9 a.m. But again, yields are up today just because oil is still moving up. Back to highs for oil. 85, 60s.
And Griffin sold his soul, so all he has left is his shares.
HSBC's raising Microsoft's price target to $5.95 from $5.67. All right, market on open data in 2 minutes. Yeah, so again, the Bank of Japan did keep rates unchanged at 1%, widely expected after they raised rates at its previous meeting in June. It was an 8-1 vote, so it wasn't super split. Takata dissented and proposed. Oh, hold on, what's going on in oil right now, guys? Hold on.
News, maybe.
And then it completely reversed here. Look at this. Weird. Something just happened. It looks like something just happened for oil. Oh, thank you, baby. More coffee. Alright, hold on real quick, guys. Look at oil. Some type of news just happened, but it seems to be retracing back up here. Or retracing back down. Look at the volume surge. Yeah, oil just made a move up to 86.40s and then back down to 85.80s, completely reversing it. And now oil's actually starting to fall here. And then the 9 o'clock scrum is right around the corner. I don't see any news here, though, but weird move for oil just now, guys. Look at the volume. I think it's news. It's catalyst driven because look at the volume here.
You might be right, First Les. That might be Brandon making his moves in the market.
Yeah, the 9 a.m. scrum hasn't happened yet. It happens in 30 seconds. Yeah, usually this is followed by a catalyst, but again, I don't see anything. Let me know if you see anything, Britt.
I've been looking. Yeah, I don't see anything yet either.
Very, very weird. Popped up to 86.40s. Big trade went through maybe. Could be insider information. But no news here. Here's 9 o'clock in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here's 9 o'clock. Definitely a little weird here, though. No news.
Nope, I still don't see anything either.
Me neither. Very strange. Hey, what's up, Charity? What's up, Farmer?
Up, guys?
Yeah, I'm looking for tweets and stuff like that as well. I don't see anything on that front either. Yeah, no tweets. Weird.
Yeah, and the NASDAQ didn't do anything.
Yeah, no news. Look at the volume, though, coming back in here. I mean, this is just 9 o'clock volume, I think, now, but very strange to get a volume spike like that and a jump up in oil, and then it completely retraces back down, and then now it's basically flat. Weird.
Yeah, I agree.
Strange. Yeah. We'll see if we get some later news, see if it's insider stuff. See if we get some news come out later. Yeah, this is the second day in a row we've seen this, though, here, guys. Oil's still falling down some from this, but nothing on the tape.
Jesus.
Effective federal funds rate 3.63, same as last time. Looks like oil's still coming down, though, on volume here.
Someone asked if you can take a look at silver.
Yeah, silver dropped simultaneously. So did gold. But silver's worse.
Where is silver? What level?
Silver is currently at 57s.
Okay. Yeah, I'm fine. Random. I was just just got really really cold all of a sudden. It was uncomfortable.
At 85.40s.
Thanks for asking though.
Oil's continuing to fade down some here. Yeah, so now oil's starting to fall.
Yeah, maybe so. First, last.
Yeah, still nothing on the tape to justify that big short-term swing in oil. The volume spike, if it was just a swing like that, I wouldn't necessarily think it's news, but the volume popping up, and this wasn't at 9 o'clock, it was ahead of it. Weird.
I'm not dramatic, Pew, especially not when I'm playing Halo.
Brit is an angry gamer.
I'm a pretty dramatic guy. Like, I'm low key most of the time, but like when something actually happens, I like to overplay it.
Yeah, when he gets mad, sometimes I have to mute the mic and just laugh a little bit, just because I don't know why people getting angry is so funny to me. But
dude, I'm the same way. I've gotten punched more than once for laughing when somebody got mad about something.
why would gold and oil be moving the same way now? It's not really like gold and oil's not really doing the same thing. Gold kind of did do the same thing with the oil, which oil went up originally and then fell. Gold went down originally and now it's popping back up a little bit. So the negative correlation is still there for gold and oil right now. Yeah. I trimmed 7% off of my stock portfolio last night, making some plays in crypto. Had a token pump 30% yesterday, but I only had 130 in it. Yeah. What's up, Tiny? I'm back. Going to take the day off to avoid any more losses. Thank you for a great day, week, and month. I'm green 2K despite the 39K red in my paper account. Have a blessed weekend. Hey, you as well,
Hey, you
Tiny.
too, Tiny.
Yeah, have a great weekend here. Again, we're heading into the opening bell here, but CL futures is what I'm looking at, Philly. WTI crude futures.
Oh, I'm not AI. I'm just bashful, you know.
Yeah.
And yes, John and I both are playing the new one, along with another childhood friend.
Yeah. Yeah, we got 3 of us that play it. It's chaos when we play it, though, but yeah.
It is.
Yeah, we're at 85.40, sir. Oil net negative from this, whatever this was. Again, I don't really see any reason for this to happen, but it happened, whatever it was. So we are net down from this. Can you suggest the safest way to invest today? Invest long term? Dollar cost average? Value investing? Look for healthy companies, sit on them long term, and add more to them over time is generally the right move. Generally, because there's always, you can isolate moments of markets in which it's not that case, but generally that's the right move. Not an investment professional. Gold falling?
Your AI wife nonstop wandering.
Yeah. Well, I got the camera pointed right at the kitchen. Carol's right here. She is a coffee snob. You know?
Tell her to try Danger Coffee. She might like it. Good.
Carol, Britt says to try Danger Coffee. Because we're dangerous people.
It's third party, like lab tested, mold free, and remineralized, apparently. Whatever that means.
Yeah. Yeah. Pew is convinced Carol's an actor that I pay twice a year to walk across the stream. So it looks like I'm married.
That'd be hilarious. A little bit like, who are you, Barney Stinson with his fake wife?
Yeah, for sure, yeah. All right, yeah, at 6 a.m. and 8 o'clock on July 30th, due to lingering supply anxiety from Mideast shipping disruptions, 9 a.m. as traders wait improving tanker flows and new regional maritime defense proposals. Yeah, I don't know, that could be it. But former Barclays CEO says banks will benefit from the Clarity Act. He said it's really good for banks over time. Banks that have invested in the tech will be big winners. But Bitcoin is down on the day, right, with gold. Bitcoin and gold kind of move in unison with each other a lot of the time. But Bitcoin is down. It's down to 63,680s today. Gold is down as well. If you look at gold, oil is it's all probably due to higher oil and hawkish sentiment regarding that.
South Korean stocks are now more volatile than Bitcoin, the notoriously unstable cryptocurrency.
Yeah, I'm reading also the Persian Gulf Waterway Management Authority announces that traffic through the strait is not possible due to continued aggressive actions of the United States. I don't know if that's what did this. This came out maybe, 5 minutes ago. But the moves really happened 6, 7, 8 minutes before that. So maybe people digested this news early. Honestly, to be honest, it seems like insider trading to a certain extent. But who knows? Jota started to look like Dan Bilzerian. Bitcoin had a $40 million hack earlier this morning. Yeah, it's the month end today. Nasdaq's starting to rebound back up, though. It's getting back over the volume-weighted average price. Here's MU. It's still at 900 plus. SanDisk still green on the day. Amazon is the big story heading in the opening bell, though. It's at 260s. It raised capex 20 billion to 220 billion. But the good Amazon Web Services cloud growth helped prop it up a little bit, I think, here. Yeah. Let's see if we hold here for Amazon, though. I think Amazon's one of the, obviously, the stocks that I'm going to watch the most heavily into the opening bell.
You know, for a lot of people's sakes, I hope you're wrong about that serpent god.
Yeah, I've heard that too, though. What he said.
Yeah, me too. It's just incredibly gross.
Yeah, I hope it's not true.
Or maybe it's just protein. Who knows?
Yeah. So I'm reading the Strategic Petroleum Reserve fell down 3.8 million barrels last week, 308, the lowest since March of 1983. It's the 18th consecutive weekly decline, the longest since 2023, according to Zero Hedge. Okay, so the president is speaking on Fox News now. He said, quote, the Iran war is going, quote, very well. Or the Iran war is going well, end quote, according to news sources. So Trump is speaking right now. I don't think anything like this is really going to move oil. Maybe it might make it dip a little bit, but I don't think it's going to move it a lot. Yeah, Apple got hammered, G-Man. I think long-term Apple could be a buy here, but bad guidance numbers freaking people out. And again, going back to what we said earlier, Michael Burry did add to his short positions here. So Burry did add to his short positions. These are some of Michael Burry's newest short positions in a filing that he disclosed yesterday. Added to the NVIDIA puts, increased Micron shorts around 880, added to SOX around 506, and added to Q shorts and puts. He bought DraftKings, Flutter, and more sports betting stocks, as well as Lululemon. But again, Burry added to his short positions yesterday, or at least he disclosed it yesterday, the additions he's made to his short positions yesterday. So that is one of the stories here. But oil dropped to 82 today before the close. For whatever reason, I'm feeling short on oil. It's just an idea, though. But I'm looking maybe short. It depends on what the president says right now, though. If he's speaking on news, he said, U.S. is hitting Iran hard. We just keep winning, end quote, Trump. The hitting Iran hard quote is probably what's making oil jump up slightly right now. But he just said it less than a minute ago, and we have a big green candle in oil now. So again, the president is speaking. He says, U.S. is hitting Iran hard. We just keep winning, end quote. Again, I'm not saying I agree or disagree. This is just, I'm quoting the president because it moves oil, which consequently affects everything else. So, but again, the president does say, we are hitting Iran hard. We just keep winning. Oil jumped up slightly. Hold that quote. Slightly. We're going to continue to give you guys the quotes as we get them, but oil is moving up a little bit on this quote. Again, US is hitting a run hard is kind of the big takeaway from that. What's up, Squirrel? I'm not going to short oil right now, especially with what's going on. We did short it earlier with mixed results, but I'm not shorting it right now. Not when the president's speaking. There's too high of a likelihood that he's going to say something. That's going to boost the price of oil, I think. I think he's speaking on Fox, Steve. Again, we're up to 85.60s in oil. Yeah. Burry's getting greedy, bro. I mean, it's a bold move to like double down on those shorts after such big drops. You know, everybody's like, hey, Michael Burry's winning. Michael Burry's winning. But doubling down on those shorts, that's a risky bet. We'll see if it pays out. Yeah, he's short the Q, he's short MU, he added to his MU short, his Nvidia short. What else did he add to? Yeah, so look. Added the SOC short, Q short, Micron, and Nvidia short. Both sports betting names here. But again, he didn't cover any of it. He's just adding to his positions now. Very risky bet. We'll see if he wins, though. Is Burry correct about this, guys? Yes or no? What do you guys think? What are you going to short? I don't know if I'm going to short or long today. It depends on how the opening bell happens. We got 15 minutes.
I probably wouldn't bet on him running down again, but maybe.
Yeah, I mean, look. It's a risky bet. It's a risky bet for sure.
Yeah.
You know. Also, guys, if you haven't already, check out Apex. They still have their 90% off sale going on. A great way to help support your friend. And, you know, the great guys here at Beginner Trading. If you haven't already, I'll put this link up. Again, it's a great way to help support the channel. Apex still has their 90% sale. You can get a 100K eval for $59 right now. No activation fee on Apex. If you want to check Apex out, again, you can get a 5-pack bundle of their cheapest accounts for roughly $17 each for $85 for 5. You can use this link, check them out. It's a great way to help support the channel. They are an affiliate of mine, and most day traders lose money here. If you fund your own account thousands, even if it's only a couple grand, you're still probably going to lose that. And so why risk that much? It's like a good middle ground between paper and real money in which you can kind of get in cheap, risk $17 on Apex. Have some pressure. It's not just blind paper accounts where you have no pressure. And if you pass the test, they fund you. If you fail, you only lose, again, in the lowest amount, $17. So it's a great way to learn. Here's the link if you want to check it out. I'll pin it to the top of the chat. Oh, I posted it twice. My bad. Here, hold on. Let me delete this last one. Is SpaceX still dropping, Steve? And we do have Michigan consumer sentiment dropping at 10 a.m. today. It is a green day for memory. Memory plays are up right now. Look at MU. So MU's back up to 912s. Mag 7 cycle complete. Well, maybe a little bit. Again, is Burry correct here, guys, is the question. SpaceX at 113s. SpaceX has found a bottom. I don't know. Didn't it hit 107s yesterday? I think 100 is going to be an interesting level. What did it hit recently? 107s? Love me some DRAM. Not touching SpaceX until under 100. SpaceX on a relief bounce, in my opinion. Yeah, but it's not bouncing that much. I mean, it bounced yesterday at the open almost to 120s, but it's still back to 113s now. Which plane of Lucid is best for beginners? I would go with Flex, personally. Flex takes a little bit longer to pass. It's not one-day pass like their new daily plan or with the Pro plan. Pro plan's one-day pass. Daily plan's one-day pass. Flex, though, once you're funded, no consistency rule, no DLL, end of day drawdown. And so personally, I like Flex the best on Lucid. You can use my code BGT at checkout and get the max discount on any of them. Whatever the biggest discount is, you'll get it if you use my code. But again, Flex is my favorite. Which plan do you guys like the best on Lucid? I mean, 25, it's up to you guys which one you guys want. But Bury might be too early. SNDK and SK Hynix is bouncing. Hope they doubled Nvidia. Just found the oil chart. Yeah, all good, brother. Yeah, the futures market, which is what these plays are. Yeah, look at oil. The futures market, you trade commodities: gold, silver, oil. You know, all the big moving things that are moving from macroeconomics right now. It's up about 50% from all-time highs, or down about 50%. It's at support, but I can't see it going to 80. I'm assuming you're talking about SpaceX. Yeah, the Flex account's probably the right one. I think it's got the most free rules once you're funded, which is key. It's got a little bit more restrictive rules on the eval, but I think that's probably the better move, where it's restrictive on the eval, but once you're funded, it's a little bit more loose. Britt, give CJ a shout out, bro. He deserves it, I think.
He does. All right, well, shout out to you, CJ. You're the man.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, he probably is. You know. All right, guys. 12 minutes.
I bet everybody thinks you're the coolest.
Everybody wants to be CJ when we grow up. Whenever I grow up, I don't know if I'm ever gonna grow up. And when you guys hear me talking to Britt, you got to remember, Britt is my friend for 20 years. So when I talk to Britt, I'll revert to a freaking teenager here.
So do I.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair.
Yeah. It doesn't look like the president's gonna say anything else. Oh, the only thing the president said 8 minutes ago. U.S. is hitting Iran hard. We just keep winning. Do
you emphasize the dude part there? Well, hey, I mean, like, you know, thanks for clarifying, I suppose.
Yeah. Government is shorting oil big. I don't know, dude. I still don't know whether I want to go long or short in oil. All right, guys, it's almost the opening bell. We have 5 minutes left until the market on open data, roughly. So 5 minutes left until market on open data. We'll see if that moves anything now. But yeah, I mean, geopolitics is definitely impacting markets less. It has to do with how much it impacts oil. First of all, we've had so much geopolitical news that oil's just moving less than it did. It still jumps. We still see movement. But it's not impacting things like it did. But at the same time, we've probably had less big like geopolitics over the last couple weeks here. We've had some escalation for sure, but we're not seeing the big swings in oil up to 90 plus, 100 plus like we saw in the midst of the initial start of this conflict, right? So oil has stabilized some. It's still high. It's still at $85 a barrel right now. But again, markets are just getting used to some of this, I think, here. They're just getting used to some of this craziness that we're seeing. Again, does the market... another question is, like, again, we looked at the Fed meeting. I think the argument for a rate hike in the next Fed meeting is that we're going to get July CPI data in a couple weeks, okay? The previous CPI print was lower, specifically because oil dropped to $68 a barrel in that period of June. In July, it's back up to 80s plus a barrel. Hit 90s in some points in July. And so with that, the CPI print is almost certainly going to be higher in a couple weeks, right? And with that high CPI print, it means that the Fed is going to have less justification to pause rates, more justification to raise rates with higher inflation data. We do get another CPI print prior to the next rate decision, which is going to be in September 16th. So we'll get the August CPI data. But if oil stays elevated like this, that might be higher than it was at 3.5% last time for CPI anyway. So if we get two high CPI prints next in 2 weeks and in September, you know, we might raise in September. It's also the pattern of the Federal Reserve. Hold on, let me see this. The pattern of the Fed here is that they generally move rates in the last 3 meetings of the year. So like the pattern is that we generally move rates in the last 3, and that would line up with September as well. So that's the argument for a rate hike in the last 3 meetings. At this point in time, markets are pricing in an 87% chance that we will have higher rates at the end of the year, and we'll see. If oil's up, then a hike is coming. I consider oil low now that 2 straits are closed and the conflict isn't coming to an end. Low relative to where it should be, you mean? Yeah, maybe. And this is a 90s song if I've ever heard one. All right, guys, we have 2 minutes until the market on open data. 2 minutes. Fed is trapped. I can't sell U.S. debt. It will print and kill more purchasing power. I don't know. Warsh has historically been critical of printing, especially in 2007, 2008, as well as 2020. The QE we did in both periods. You know, Warsh has historically been critical. So we'll see if we start to do QE, but I don't know. We got Chicago PMI today, a smaller PMI release, but it is something. And then we got Michigan data in 35 minutes. Yeah, so 10 a.m. Michigan data. Yeah, Carol's a hologram. That's she's, you know, that's definitely right. She's like Tupac.
Jack just kind of like peeking over your shoulder.
I had nowhere else to do the stream today, bro. I had nowhere else to do it. So y'all are gonna have to see little cameos from my wife here. You know, that's okay. Then they have to raise taxes and cut spending. Yeah. All right, guys, here we go. Market on open data in less than a minute. Let's see if this moves anything. I'm gonna put the NASDAQ up here to see how that moves. But market on open data could swing things again, and then we're heading into Michigan data. All right, here we go. 30 seconds to the market on open. NASDAQ starting to push down a little bit. I saw U.S. Treasury has reported in foreign banks that it may intervene in the yen market on Friday, according to sources. All right, here we go. Market on open data in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's see if we move here. And here's it right here. My timer was a little bit earlier. All right, so we did jump up a little bit, but maybe not too much. 550s right now. See what oil's doing. NASDAQ, S&P. Both of these are heading up slightly from this data. NASDAQ highs of the day are 28,640. We're at 550, so we could hit those levels if we continue, obviously. All right, guys, about 4 minutes until the opening bell. Let's watch Amazon. I'm going to watch Amazon really closely at the open today. Oh, I mean, raise rates? Yeah, raising rates is looking more and more probable. Again, inflation data is going to come out higher, I think. So, I mean, you could make a bet on, maybe you could make a bet against gold. With higher rates potentially coming. It would have to be a longer term bet though. Is anybody like shorting gold where we're at now based on higher rate sentiment? Potentially from CPI's print in 2 weeks. And next week we got the labor reports. So next week we got jobs, unemployment, we got JOLTS, we got ISM services, we got manufacturing data, we have the ADP monthly report, and then Friday we got jobless claims on Thursday, and then we got the non-farm payroll unemployment report. So next week's all about jobs, and so we'll see if some of this hawkish sentiment is justified. If jobs come in weak, that's dovish. If jobs come in strong, that's hawkish, and we'll see what happens. If jobs show up strong, it's going to look even more like we're getting a rate hike. So if jobs show up heated, NFP data shows up strong, JOLTS shows up strong, quits show up low in JOLTS, ADP shows up strong, then maybe we'll get higher rate sentiment as well. All dramatics, no rate hikes, only cuts will happen. All right, guys, 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and run so I don't interrupt the open.
All right, dude.
All right.
Later, brother.
I'll talk to you later, man.
Hey.
Huh?
Have a good day, dude.
Hey, you too, man. Y'all be safe, okay?
Thanks, bro. Later, dude.
Yep.
All right, Britt is gone, guys. Britt is gone. He's left us. He's abandoned us ahead of the opening bell here. He told me he had to go somewhere today. It's all right. Nasdaq's still moving up, though, here. Look. Look at Nasdaq jump up a little bit. Let's look at Amazon. Amazon's starting to creep up towards highs of the day ahead of the opening bell. We got 2 minutes left. Two green days in a row would be cool. All right, here we go. 265s on Amazon right now. I missed Brit already. Yeah, let's see if we get 2 green days in a row. It's been a scary market the last few weeks. But again, it's looking more optimistic today. Outside of higher oil prices, it looks optimistic today. Green? 6 in a row would be cooler. All right, 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. Amazon up after 20 billion capex increase. Yeah, but again, the story was not just capex, right? Like a lot of stocks, like Google and Meta, posted higher capex and dumped. Amazon is up because it had AWS growth to somewhat justify the capex, even though they raised capex by 20 billion. The AWS cloud growth was high enough to justify the capex in a lot of people's minds, right? So that's one of the reasons Amazon did not get the Meta treatment in terms of high capex is bad and we drop, right? Because it had the growth to justify it. Meta had bad numbers, bad EPS, and higher capex, which is kind of like a double negative, which does not mean it's a positive in markets. All right, let's see. Bearish today. We'll see Mickle. All right, guys, 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ding, ding, ding. There's the opening bell. I don't know why my ding, ding, ding sound didn't go through, but that's all right. All right, guys, let's see the NASDAQ and Amazon at the open here. NASDAQ so far is red. Amazon pulling back slightly here. And NASDAQ starting to go green on the open. Just reversed. We got to look at like MU. Amazon's kind of flat, but MU moving a little bit here. Let's see if these hold. Watch chips. Chips have rebounded a lot. Look at MU over 920s here. Look at the NASDAQ jump back up. It's at 28,600s now. NASDAQ so far is green. My wife came in here with her loud toothbrush. Bearish on toothbrushes. Alright guys, NASDAQ at 28,590. Let's see if MU continues to hold though. So look at Amazon, down a little bit since the open. Apple down. Microsoft is flying up. Look at that, it's at 457s for Microsoft. But a lot of stuff's moving down and some are going up here, so we'll see if the NASDAQ continues. But look at Microsoft ramp up here at the opening bell, up to almost 460s for MSFT. $458. Yeah, Microsoft helping drag the NASDAQ up a little bit here. I mean, it's a little loud. I love you. You can't brush your teeth in the bathroom. All right, guys. NASDAQ still moving up. I mean, you're probably all right. I doubt they hear it. I mean, you go ahead. All right, NASDAQ running up. Microsoft running up. 28,660s here on the NASDAQ. Apple's still fading down here, though, but man. MU breaking highs, got up to almost 930 here. This is memory bouncing back here. Here's SK Hynix. SanDisk. I mean, SK Hynix is up too. Memory rebounding still here. Michael Burry's going to be unhappy if these start to have like a huge parabolic rebound. Google bouncing back as well at 340s, but man, look at the NASDAQ here. NASDAQ up to almost 28,700s. Man, look at the NASDAQ rip here, guys. What's oil doing? Oil's not really moving. Gold's heading down. Wait, look at the NASDAQ go. I don't know what to do here, to be honest. Does this run continue today, chat? Does this run continue? Man, it's still pushing up 700s here. I almost want to short this, but it's a risky short here, dude. But I'm going to short a little bit right here. What time is it? I didn't break my rules. Small short, though. So even if it does run up, we'll be all right. Take half off right there. Little baby trade, but that's all right. We've made thousands, honestly, over the last week or two, but just tapped over highs. We're gonna get out pretty much flat if we get stopped out of the rest here, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna cut it right there. It's just too much. It's too strong. Look at the NASDAQ break highs of the day again. All right, so we're flat on our first trade of the day here, but man, NASDAQ's ripping up. Google moving up. Microsoft is one of the key drivers in all this. Look at Microsoft 450s. Still looking at a short though. Y'all think this is long or short right now? I mean, trading against the trend is generally not a smart move, but it's better risk reward. Yeah, and we are in a very small short that I will add to if it goes in my favor. Oh my gosh, dude! I wish. Oof. Maybe I'll add more to this short now. Okay. I'll add to this now. Hold it break even. Take half off. I'm gonna get out the rest flat there. So we made money there. Yeah, Coinbase. Wow, look at Coinbase, guys. 146. Amazon's still doing okay, though. Amazon up to 268s here. We get a big enough pullback, I might buy. But it could be a trap. There's Microsoft trying to get back up there. It looks strong, but I don't want to get trapped here, to be honest. Alright, we just jumped it along. I don't want to get trapped here, though. I'm trying to take larger size. I want to see if it liquidity grabs down here. Definitely not looking good. I'll probably have to start covering it. We're out. So we're definitely down on the day now, but why is the NASDAQ dropping? What is driving the NASDAQ down here? Amazon breaking highs. Chips are pulling back pretty fast here, is what it is. So look at MU. Yeah, this is chip sentiment. Yeah, it's memory. Memory's still falling off a cliff here. Let me see about a short. Memory's still looking scary momentum on the downside here, so I jumped in a short now. I want to see if memory keeps falling. There we go. Alright, good. We'll hold this last one. I'm looking for the 200 EMA. Still falling. There we go. I'm going to add to this now. There we go. Alright, I'm going to take a little bit more off now and cut the rest here. Alright, so we're back to flat on the day, which is good. Kind of back and forth. 200 EMA trying to prop up MU now, but if it keeps dropping under this, the NASDAQ might continue to fall down here, to be honest. Yeah, look at memory. Still fall back, fading down. MU's heading towards 900s now. NASDAQ falling off a cliff here. Sure there's no news. No, not really. Still looks like a short in memory to me, but maybe bounce up to 910s. Short some more. And there's the 910 short. It is Friday though, guys, so just be careful. Alright, we did jump back in short here on the NASDAQ, and we are up a lot. I'm going to take most of the profit into this drop. There we go. Yeah, I was looking at 910 short on MU. I'm still in a piece of this here, but I was looking at 910. Look, that's basically where we bounced. We're still short here. We're green on the day. See if the fear continues. It's been really easy to make money on the short side lately, but there we go. All right, I'm gonna get out the rest right there. I'm out. Nicely green on the day now. Could be profit taken, yeah. We're up a lot over the last 24 hours. Amazon's still doing okay. This is memory sell-offs, though, to be honest. All right, baby. All right, love y'all. NASDAQ down to 28,500s here. MU just broke over 900s. Again, the fear is easy to capitalize on in day trading right now. Man, look at this drop. NASDAQ dumping here. MU, this is memory related, guys, by the way. MU down. Under 900s as of now. SanDisk down. SK Hynix is down. Apple's been having a pretty bad reaction to markets as well, though. Oh, we got Chicago PMI and Michigan consumer sentiment as well at 10 o'clock. Hi, baby. All right, I love you. What? 30 minutes. All right. I love you. MU down to 888s. Yeah, again, yields continue to move higher, lifting the dollar, weighing on precious metals. Chips are still scary here, though. Honestly, I might buy this now. Alright, I just bought some here. Just want to see if we do a little recovery bounce. I probably shouldn't go against the shorts here, to be honest, based off of how scary it is. See if we liquidity grab at this low. We got an easy stop out level if we break this low again. Yeah, we're getting out. I still think we might bounce where we're at now, but memory is just slumping so fast here, to be honest. Still want to buy. Yeah, the buy thesis was right. We just barely got stopped out of that last one. Again, short-term bounce probably, though. It might continue down. We might bounce a little while and then flush. Yeah, there goes MU. And here's the flush. Man, market's giving back a lot of these gains here, guys. Yep. MU just cracked lows again. 880s. Fear's definitely here in markets at the opening bell, though. Chicago PMI did release. Sorry, guys. Maybe that Chicago PMI showed up at 57 versus 56 expected. Maybe weighing on yields even more. NASDAQ continues its slump here. Look at this. Still falling. And MU just cracked lows again here, guys. Alright, I bought this dip. I think MU's right around the previous closing price right now. Maybe we'll get a little recovery bounce. It's definitely not easy money, though. we go. We're going to cover a little bit, but we only have 2 micros left, so. Memory's still falling down? Kind of. I think I'm going to sit in this long for a little while longer, though. MU's at the previous closing price here, so I think maybe we bounce at the previous close. The opposite thing could happen, though. Nasdaq just broke lows. Look at MU. Okay, so the sell-offs are intensifying here. I'm going to have to cut this. Look at these drops, dude. Scary. Nasdaq breaking lows again. All this red with no recovery yet, that was interesting. Nasdaq just slapped lows again here. I'm kind of trading in the background here, by the way, guys. Whoa, look at that candle. There we go. We've dropped a lot. I think dead cat bounce makes sense. There we go. I'm gonna get out here. I think I gotta be careful. We're green on the day, but not a lot. Yeah, this is mostly just microchip sell-offs here is what this is, guys. This is chip sell-offs. Also, guys, again, if you haven't already, check out Apex. Great way to help support the channel. Most day traders lose money here. So if you fund your own account thousands of dollars, again, you're probably going to lose it. Even if it's just a couple grand, most day traders lose their first couple accounts. Apex has $17 accounts. You can get 5 for $85. You can get 100K eval for $59 no activation fee if you use my code BGT at checkout. Beginner Trading BGT. Great way to help support the channel. Again, these are evals, so if you pass them, they fund you. If you fail them, you only lose what you pay for it. So it's good risk management if you're learning how to day trade. I wish I had stuff like this when I was day trading, to be honest, when I first got started, because I lost freaking thousands learning, which is kind of how it goes. But if you want to check it out, here's the link. They are an affiliate of mine. I'm biased, but I try to be honest, and it's a good way to help support the channel if you appreciate our free streams. Here's the link. Check it out. Yeah, we did get that recovery bounce that I was looking for. We're only slightly green on the day. We are up $60. Back and forth a lot, but memory is what's breaking down here. These are memory names. HBM producers. MU, SanDisk, SK Hynix. V-shaped recovery. Yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't know, dude. It's looking a little scary right now. And Michigan consumer sentiment drops in 7 minutes. That's also the other question mark here, is what does Michigan data show up as? How much would you need to earn in a day in the States to live well? I mean, you mean daily or do you mean one time? I'm pretty sure you can use it in the UK, Kevin. I'm pretty sure. All right, NASDAQ just cracked lows again. Memory still falling here. 865s for MU. 313s. 317s. Look at MU still fall here. NASDAQ still breaking lows. MU back down to lows of the day. Man, look at this drop. Yeah. Question is, when is the bleeding gonna stop? I've been buying these dips. Just bought another dip here. I'm going to sell it into that strength right there, which is... we're up about 200 on the day now, which is good. This week's been really good, though. You know, this is me this week so far. So we got a cushion now. If we get a large enough bounce, I will short, but it needs to be a large enough bounce. Outside of that, I don't really want to do anything now. We're too sideways. 5 minutes until the Michigan data too, so just be careful. Michigan Michigan posts consumer sentiment, inflation expectations, and more. So again, current conditions, consumer expectations, consumer sentiment, 1 and 5 year inflation expectations. It could move markets, it might not. We'll see. Three minutes. Yeah, Microsoft doing great. Amazon doing great. Chips are down. MU, SanDisk, SK Hynix. Apple's doing alright. It's mixed, but down obviously from yesterday. Alright guys, here we go. Michigan consumer sentiment in 3 minutes. Yields have been up mostly on the day on oil prices. Here's a resistance level here on the NASDAQ. Alright guys, 2 minutes. All right, 2 minutes, guys. NASDAQ now falling down. MU still close to lows at 860s. I mean, I don't think it's Black Friday yet. I don't think any of these moves are quite big enough. But, MU still falling here. 860s. NASDAQ still testing the low area as well. Data will have an impact given the current sensitivity. I don't know. Will Michigan data influence the market here? We got a minute. Again, consumer sentiment, inflation expectations might move things, but here's the NASDAQ starting to get closer to the lows since the open. MU testing lows at 860 now. All right. Let's see what this does. Less than a minute, 59, 58 seconds. All right, 40 seconds till Michigan data. All right, here we go, 25 seconds. $15 seconds. All right, we got 1 minute left, or 5 seconds here, guys. All right, here we go. Data drops right now. All right, guys, so Michigan data showed stronger than expected consumer sentiment, 55.2 versus 54.4 expected. Inflation expectations essentially stayed the same except for... No, inflation expectations stayed the same as expected, 4.2. A little bit lower than last time inflation expectations. The same 5-year inflation expectations, but consumer expectations and consumer sentiment were stronger than expected. Current conditions were weaker than expected. But I don't know if this is really moving markets. Again, 55.2 consumer sentiment versus 54.4 expected, so stronger. Inflation expectations, again, basically stayed the same here in regards to expectations, but 1 year did show up lower than previously. Previous was 4.6, now it's 4.2, but that was basically what was expected today. Again, consumer sentiment stronger, consumer expectations stronger, Michigan current conditions weaker. We got a little wiggling from this data, but NASDAQ still heading down here. Look, NASDAQ's retesting lows. MU still falling here, guys. NASDAQ with a big red candle. Testing lows of the day now. Just crack lows real quick. Liquidity grab at that low here. I usually like shorting into these, so we'll try it. There we go. There we go. Yep. Take that off. We got one more left. We'll let it test the low here. See if the red continues. I'm gonna get out here actually. Yeah. Alright, we're up about 400 on the day. Yeah, we already saw the that they might intervene in the bond market. Watch memory names, though. Memory is really what's breaking down here, I think. NASDAQ just broke lows again here, though. Again, if you haven't already, check out Lucid as well. Lucid has end-of-day drawdown options and everything. So it's another funded account program, another prop firm, but Lucid has their new daily plan. And so if you haven't checked out their new daily plan, you can check it out. With the daily plan on Lucid, no consistency in funded daily payouts, no activation fee. And so they give you a demo. You got to make 3K in profit on the eval without losing 2K, which is a pretty reasonable 3-to-2 ratio. If you do that, they fund you 50K, 90% split, 100K, 150K, depending on which one you get. 50% consistency rule, which means that you can't trade. Your single day profit can't be greater than 50% of your target. But again, the daily plan is reasonable. I like Lucid Flex. Somebody asked me about this earlier, but I like Lucid Flex because once you're actually funded, end of day drawdowns, no consistency, no DLL beyond your initial trail in your funded account. So it's EOD, no DLL, no consistency rule once you're funded. I think that's a great 3 characteristics of a plan. You know, those are the best 3 that you can get. And so if you want to check out Lucid, I'll put the link up. Again, you can use my code BGT Beginner Trading to get the max discount. I mean, we don't plug anything for like 2 or 3 hours. Really pushing their sponsors today. I mean, we don't plug anything for 2 or 3 hours. Like, we usually consolidate it towards the end of the stream. Gotta pay the bills, you know. Hopefully you guys appreciate the free stuff we use, or the free stuff we give out here. We try to give you guys like the macro of what's going on in markets every day. And this morning, again, MU breaking down, NASDAQ correcting some after optimism from Amazon earnings yesterday. NASDAQ still strengthening a little, or still maybe going to pick up some strength down here at the bottom. The question is, how much more can we keep dropping here? And the question is a lot more. Again, we're up about 400 on the day now. But the question is, how much more can the NASDAQ keep falling? It's basically at lows of the day again. See, it depends on what MU does. MU still fading 840s. We just crack lows again on MU and the NASDAQ. Still falling here. Was Michael Burry right to add to his short positions here, guys? That's the question. Still fading. Look at this drop here, man. Look at MU. Starting to recover some here. Just be careful. MU still breaking lows. Scary. Look at this drop in the NASDAQ here, dude. Yikes. Every bounce is kind of like a small recovery, though, usually, lately. Still back to lows here, guys. Yikes. Does the bleeding stop right here? Yes or no? What do you guys think? All right, we jumped in short here. I vote no. Look at this drop here. Covering. I'm gonna get out there. I'm gonna hang a picture of Burry in my living room. Scary market right now, guys. Definitely a little scary. Yeah, 28,000 maybe. We're back up to 150s, but man, any bounce is short-lived lately, dude. Like, we're just not really bouncing a lot. MU finally starting to rip back up. Let me see if that holds. Yeah, I'm green. It's pretty good. We made some money off stream just now. Sometimes I trade off stream because it's just less emotional, but we are up today $1,500, and this week that puts me at, for the week, we had to take some risk to get there, but I need to build up a cushion in this account. Yeah, look, here's the here's my P&L for on the stream. I'm trying to get a good picture of it. There you go. We're up 3,800. The volatility has been easy to make money in, but we had to take some risks to get there. NASDAQ's still falling down there. Looks like it could keep reversing. I'm going to switch and maybe try to play a take profit eval. Yeah, I got to take profit eval though. I think it's very close to the profit target. I'm going to switch to that. I need $850 for this profit target on take profit. Do I short, man? I don't know. I don't know what I do here. What I do here. Short seem like the easier money, but I don't know. I don't like a short now, to be honest. I think the momentum's obviously short, but I think we're down so much. You know, let me see what I gotta watch. MU. I'm gonna buy this. I think it has better risk reward. It's an eval, so if I lose, right? But the other account that I'm up a lot on the day and the week is a funded account, but this is an eval, so if I lose, I lose. But I think the better risk reward is on the upside, and I think if I have a chance to make, you know, $1,000 and pass this, it's gonna be on the upside right now, based off of just brutal drops. There we go. All right, we're up 5. Slowly start to scale out of this. We need less than 5 now. There we go. Take a piece of that off. We need about 300 now. Okay. We need about 250 now. We got 2 contracts left. I might add to this though. I added a little bit to it right there. Again, this is an eval, so I'll keep adding to this right here. See if we move back up some. It's a risky place with the momentum on the downside, but I think, again, the risk reward, I think, justifies it. There we go. Ooh, I need $15. Come on. Give me 15 bucks on the upside. Okay, now I need about 100. I swear, if we break lows, it stops me out $15 away and then moves back up, I'm gonna be pissed. Okay, that's better. I'm gonna add to this now. Might add to this even and see if we get a liquidity grab down here. Trap. Yep. See? Eesh. Now we need 200 now again. Yeah, I think we might liquidity grab right here, but it's definitely not risk free. And the momentum and fear is definitely there. Come on, give me that big green candle real quick and let me finish this. Yep. Yep. All right, I've done it. I did it. We got one. All right, so pretty good day. We made 1,000 plus in our funded account. We just passed an eval. There's the liquidity grab I thought we might get at the bottom low there. Theirs just might be out of steam. So MU starting to bounce back a little bit as well. I'm not crying, guys. I got something in my eye. Definitely not crying. What if I did cry just because I passed an eval, man? That would be a... Tears of joy. Yeah, that's right. All right, guys. I'm going to cut on out of here. It's Friday. You guys ain't got no job. Hey, love to everybody here. I appreciate the love. Hey, if you want to use my coupon code, help support the channel. Take Profit's great as well. I'm now funded in Take Profit, I believe now. Great way to help support the channel. Use code BGT. Again, Apex, cheapest accounts in the game. You can get a 5-pack bundle for $17 each or $85 for 5. Lucid has some of the best rules once you're funded. Take Profit has some of the most lean or the most easy payout restrictions. Payout rules on Take Profit are great for beginners as well. And Tradeify has their select plans, which are really nice also. So check them out, guys. I'm going to go ahead and cut out of here. But love to everybody here. If you want to check out Apex, here's the link. Great way to help support the channel. Again, it's an affiliate link. I get paid by them. But a good way to help support us. I appreciate it. You can check out Lucid as well. All the codes are in the description. Love to everybody here. Y'all have a great day. Have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Jobs week next week. Be careful. Later, chat.